Beautiful, well, did I say Wednesday? I miss Wednesday, I guess. It's a beautiful Thursday morning here in the capital of Accra. It is the 1st of August 2024. A lot of you were waiting for August. You said July was full of violence. Now August is here. Let's see if the violence will continue. But welcome to the show. My name is Mohammed. As always, it's a pleasure to serve you nothing but sizzling breakfast. Welcome. Let me begin by helping you start your day right with our quote of the day. Quote of the day is by Paul Henderson, who says, I get up every morning and it's going to be a great day. You never know when it's going to be over, so I refuse to have a bad day. You never know when it's going to be my last day here on TV. You never know when it's going to be my last day on earth. So anytime I have the opportunity, I just refuse to have a bad day and have a good day. You never know when life will end. So hey, why will you allow anybody steal your joy? Have fun. Enjoy your life. Like they say, life is short. So that's a quote by Paul Henderson. Let me pump you up. It's a cold morning. Oh goodness. Waking up is a challenge, I know. But you need to earn your keep. You and I, we need to. So let me pump you up with our video of the day. It's a throwback song. So yeah, where's Fuse? He's been missing from the system in a long while. But hey, that's a beautiful song by Fuse ODG. Let me help you improve your English language writing and speaking with our word of the day.
Today's word is another one of French origin. Tete-a-T-E, and the T has an accent on it. It's tete-a-tete.
No, Lorraine, we are not French speakers. We are English speakers. It's tete-a-tete.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tete-a-tete.
Exactly.
Not tete-a-tete. What's that?
That's us having a tete-a-tete.
So what's a tete-a-tete? What does it mean?
Tete-a-tete is a noun, and it's an informal, private conversation between two people, especially friends.
Oh, so that was our tete-a-tete.
Exactly.
Oh, so let's exemplify it. The Queen and her husband are always having a tete-a-tete. Tete-a-tete.
So I'm going to have a tete-a-tete with Na after the show. Yeah. Anyway, let's head to the courts. So Captain has joined me here. Captain, good morning.
Good morning, Lily.
It's always a delight
I don't
having
envy you this morning at all.
I know.
Azonto vibes.
You know,
I wish I can do something, you know. there's a skill in it for me.
Anyway.
Yes.
But I think it brings back a lot of memories.
It's
you
true.
know?
It's true. Because it is a song that have a lot of memory in the minds of many. The skill, the art, and all that.
Exactly.
So as many as people who learned how to do this.
Exactly. Who learned how to
and
dance?
That's the sport. It's a way of exercising, you know.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of
Dancing,
energy to be able to put out such a performance, such a dance and all that. And Charlie, the dance moves.
So today, you know, you should do some Azonto moves with your girl. Today is World Girlfriends Day. So
Oh, really?
Yes.
1st of August?
Yes.
Wow.
It's always World Girlfriends Day, so you should celebrate.
So what does that mean?
Not necessarily somebody you are in a romantic relationship
Lady
with.
to lady.
Lady to lady,
Okay.
maybe your female girlfriend, you know. So yeah, celebrate the people in your life.
Not the one that Sam George and the team have been fighting against.
No.
Okay.
No. we're not celebrating that. We're celebrating beautiful friendships, meaningful friendships.
Sure.
That sister who's been there for you. So I can confidently call Araba my girlfriend. I can confidently call Ajoala my girlfriend.
The one I have tete-a-tete with all the time.
Yes.
At the back.
Yes. So I mean, today is a special day. I celebrate all the beautiful women in my life who make my life beautiful. Listen, I'm a handful, but these women are always there for me. They have my back, my ride or die.
Yes.
You know, so I celebrate all of you. Araba, Joa, my sister, Shika, Sangwaki, all of you. I celebrate you and I appreciate you.
I'm sure that if you want to mention the list,
oh my goodness!
And on behalf of myself, to all the girlfriends, I say happy
Girlfriend's Day.
Girlfriend's Day.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a girlfriend, we have girl lover, and the other there's another one.
Really?
In Ghana, when you say girlfriend, the meanings are good too.
Yeah, there are a lot of meanings.
So all the girlfriends out there, happy Friendship Day to you.
Okay, so let's head to the court.
Yes.
And you authentically.
Yes. The top I'm wearing is from Authentic, and guess what?
Today's his
Today
birthday.
is Authentic birthday.
Yeah.
So the man authentic
It's an authentic
inside
day.
Kantamanto.
Yeah.
Yes. Happy birthday to you. Today is his birthday. Yes, I'm
Happy-
sure he'll
happy
be smiling.
birthday.
He's a man that you never see him frown his face. He's always smiling. He's always a guy rough.
Sound.
Hey,
Or a guy
he
to
can
say,
yob you.
me boom,
He can yob you in a
because
second.
we move for a thunderstorm. But anyway, let's head to the court.
Yes.
Let's do a quick review and then we'll dive into cases coming up today.
Absolutely.
Yesterday, anti-gay protest.
In fact, in Parliament, Sam George and the team are saying that, look, you notice that there are some cases pending at the Supreme Court, for which reason the Supreme Court had ruled that they are unable to take a decision on whether to injunct Parliament or not to injunct Parliament from transmitting the bill to the presidency for a decision to be taken whether to be assented or not. They say that some judge and the team is saying that because of the decision by the Supreme Court to say that they are waiting until the substantive matter is dealt with before they rule and put the judgment, all of them together, is impeding on the bill in Parliament. And guess what they do? Yesterday, they are trying to cut some support. They visited the Osu Traditional Council. They were at the chief imam's palace. And guess what? Let's hear from Sam George what he's been saying in relation to what they intend to do about that particular decision for the Supreme Court not to deliver a ruling on that particular injunctions.
As children of God and as Ghanaians, we know it is against our religion, it's against our culture. We want to do a peaceful march on the 21st of August to the Chief Justice. Because right now it's not the president that's holding it. It is the Chief Justice. She is the one who is preventing Parliament from sending it to the president. So we don't have a problem with the president. We don't have a problem with the speaker. Our problem is with the Chief Justice.
Okay, so that's Samuel
George.
George.
Yes. He said that they are going to protest against the Chief Justice for that decision for the Supreme Court not to. And the reason he is mentioning the Chief Justice is because she is the administrative head of the judiciary.
Absolutely.
So we'll look forward to see what I said 21st of August. In the coming days, I'm sure there will be a lot of updates in relation to that. So we'll keep close eyes on this one.
And then yesterday we also learned that the case involving Martha Nkomo and the two actors, Martha Nkomo and Lil Wayne,
yes,
is going out of court.
Yes. So as you can see on your screen, that is Martha Nkomo yesterday after the court adjourned the case. In fact, yesterday was the day that the court fixed for hearing, and she appeared. Lil Wayne and the lawyers, there were no representation from Lil Wayne. He himself was also absent. But when the matter was called, that is counsel for Martha Nkomo, he indicated to the court that there has been some development. The development is that the team of the defendant, that is Lil Wayne, has approached them for settlement. And so they want to go out of court settlement. They want to have that discussion out of court. And then at the next court sitting, they will update the court. If they so agree on whatever terms that they put forth, it will be brought to the court. All the parties will sign, and then it will be adopted as a consent judgment. So that will be there. So in this case, they are supposed to come back on the 15th of August. Somebody will be wondering, the legal vacation begins today.
Yes.
But why 15th of August? 15th because some of the vacation court will be sitting. And in relation to this very case, this court will be sitting. So that is how come Lil Wayne and Martha Nkomo's case had been adjourned. So for now, it is out of court settlement. It doesn't mean the matter is done entirely. They can go, if they disagree on the terms, they have to come back to court, and whatever will happen, the court will have to deal with the matter as it is. But as it is now, we've been told that lawyers, and in fact, Lil Wayne has approached Martha Nkomo to settle the matter out of court.
Interesting turn of events. Yes. And then Professor GHOne versus the chairman of the NDC, popularly known as
General Mosquito. Yes. Yesterday was a day of defamation. So this is also another defamation case in which Professor GHOne sued the General Mosquito. At the time that this suit was filed, General Mosquito was the General Secretary of the NDC, and as far back as in 2018, this very action was filed. So yesterday, Justice Audrey Kokuvi dealt with the issue. Hearing was supposed to continue, and was informed that General Mosquito was absent because at the last court sitting on the 4th of July, his lawyers brought a medical excuse duty for him because he's unwell. And so the court fixed today, and in fact yesterday what they indicated was to the effect that he was supposed to go and see his medical off team for a review of his condition, and so he was unable to come. The witness that they were subpoenaing to come and testify was also absent from Societe Generale, and there was an officer, a lawyer from SG to come and inform the court that the officer they want to come and testify is no longer their staff. He's been away for the past 20 years, and so they cannot offer any support in relation to that. The lawyers of Professor GHOne indicated to the court that once the case was going to be adjourned, they want the court to take some judicial notice of some of the things that are happening. The general secretary, the former general secretary of the NDC, now chairman, has brought an excuse duty that is unwell. But the court should take notice of July 10, July 19, and July 24 campaign platforms where the NDC was seen there. And so the court should take note of that, so that when something is happening, the court will know that the man that he said that he's unwell is still appearing in public, but he doesn't come to court. So this case has been adjourned. In fact, the court fixed the whole working days in October. From October 8th, that's the first working day in the new legal year, to the 31st of October, excluding weekends, to sit on this very case. So it's going to be a daily sitting in relation to this very case. So Professor GHOne is asking for some 20 million Ghana cedi compensation based on what he regarded as some comments made against him by the former general secretary, now the national chairman of the NDC, which he deemed defamatory. So this case will come up sometime in the next legal year,
which is in October.
Yes.
So the Cecilia Dapa's case
was
also in court
yesterday. The accused persons were in court, and then lawyers for Patience Botry, the first accused person, were expected to move a motion for the OSP to provide them with interrogations, caution statement, interviews done on Madame Cecilia Dapa and the husband, just so they will be able to subject the husband of Madame Cecilia Dapa to proper cross-examination. Yesterday, they filed a supplementary affidavit in support of their motion. The OSP's representative, Esther Fafatete, indicated to the court that they were only served at the time that they were in court, and so they will need time to be able to peruse it, so that if there are anything, they can also raise it. Justice Marie Lewis Simon listened to them. So this is an application that we can easily deal with it, so that in the course of the vacation, we'll know that when we are coming, we have a clear plan. But the court hands were tied, so it had to be adjourned to 23rd of October. So this case will come back. However, the second accused person, we were told at some time in point that she was a nursing mother, and because of that, she was remanded into police custody. The remaining 6 were in prison's custody. Yesterday, the court commits her into prison's custody for remand. So that is in relation to this Cecilia Dapa's case. The husband, Daniel Osekufo, yesterday was present in court. So this case will come back again in October.
Interesting. Yes. Today, obviously, begins the end of the legal year.
Yes. So yesterday, you could see clearly that it is our day. At the premises of the court, you saying that it's our day. Even the whole judicial, the chief just led the judges, staff, directors, court registrars to have a Thanksgiving service within the premises of the law court complex, and it was very, very exciting, all that. So not much is happening, but we'll be telling you what these registered court officers, in fact, all the units. Now, when you go to the court, we have the land unit, we have the criminal department, we have the commercial, we have the land, labor, all those putting up some it's all work and no play. Some workout, absolutely.
And boy.
We'll bring you that details in relation to what the staff did to say goodbye to the 2023-2024 legal year. So these are some of the things that we should look out for.
Okay. All right, Captain, thank you very much, as always. We'll catch you on the flip side for more. That's Mutala Inusa with Court Today. Let's see what the newspapers are reporting this morning. Times newspaper banner headline reads, MMDA's tasked to improve roads nationwide as president presents fleet of heavy-duty equipment for maintenance, rehabilitation, and upgrade of roads. Would complete abandoned projects nationwide before starting new ones. That's according to former President John Dramani Mahama. I'll establish Traders Bank, create jobs for your children. Alan Chiramating promises traders. And now to the Daily Guide. Nana launches drip for better road network. Affirmative action bill passage, a critical move in gender equality. That's according to GHOne. She's the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Northerners embrace Baumia's vision of possibilities. Efiakoto sues A+ for 5 million cedis. That's it for the Daily Guide. The Daily Graphic says President launches road improvement program. Initiative provides 2,240 road construction equipment, creates 10,000 jobs. NHI launches free annual health checkup initiative. That's a very laudable one. Graphic Greta Housing Fair begins today. If you want to purchase a house, that's the place to be. Choose peace over violence. Reverend Dr. Edujemfi charges Ghanaians. EC begins mop-up registration today. And now to the new crusading guide. Ekufado launches ambitious district road improvement program. I beg your pardon. They call it the DRIP. In the matter of the week, Mankahene's jail term, Chief Justice petition to help retrieve stolen funds. SIC Life Savings and Loans customer lament over 20 million cedis locked up savings. Parliament passes affirmative action bill, and it comes with a picture of the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, GHOne. That's a good one for her. My final paper for the morning, Emil Short goofs. Election Watch Ghana demands retraction of statement back in C. Minority demands information on cost of equipment distributed under DRIP. December polls, voters will decide who you'll hand over to, not you. Mahama to Akufo-Addo. So that's what the papers are reporting this morning. You can grab a copy on your various newsstands, or you can simply log on the various news portals and read what the papers are saying this morning. We take a break here. When we return, my guests will join me for the breakfast review. A number of issues to unpack. Stay tuned in. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. It's now time for the breakfast review. My guests are seated. This morning I've been joined by Dr. Ezekiel Ejikumo-Bing. He's a member of the NPP Communications team, and Malik Basantali is the Deputy National Communications Officer for the NDC. We are waiting for the Chief, Bernard Mona. He will join us soon. But good morning to you, gentlemen. Good to have you.
Good morning.
You are what?
Anyway,
You.
Well, you know, there's a Thursday. It was supposed to be a part 3. Last week, last 2 weeks we met, and then we did part 1, part 2, and myself and my very good brother, Honorable Chinia, were supposed to meet again for a part 3, and so I came. He asked that I should bring his land documents, government lands he had acquired, government vehicles he had acquired, how he smuggled fertilizer and all of that.
That's a huge start.
Yeah. I brought every document. I was ready for it. Doc is my very good friend.
I wish our cameras can capture the documents.
My documents.
So
I came.
People will have an appreciation of how huge that stack is.
I came with all his government lands he'd acquired, government vehicles, how fertilizer is smuggled, all those things, they are here. And I was going to prove everything to him. But I don't know, but don't worry, I know how to get him.
But I mean,
I didn't know. They said he's traveled. He said he
was not on the show.
I'm shocked. I'm really
He was not built.
I'm really surprised. But I mean, I still know where I would.
Maybe you can meet him
we'll find. I'll go there. Go there. It's very important. It's very important.
Okay. Anyway,
2 days ago, you know, 2 days ago, he was on another platform speaking about the 24-hour economy, and he kept saying, look, we've not even met local demand, and we want to think of export and all of that. Then I was like, but Chinia, you should know more about export. In 2019, the agric minister said people were smuggling fertilizer on the backs of donkeys, and it was Chinia in his constituency who was carrying planting for food and job fertilizer to Cote d'Ivoire. So you are a master of exporting fertilizer, even though there was local demand. So I mean, we had a lot to do today, but I'll hold on to the documents, and then we'll meet again. Absolutely.
Right. I'm sure on another date. But a number of issues we'll discuss this morning.
The rule of natural justice should at least permit Honorable Chinia to be heard.
Exactly.
That's right. He was supposed. That's why we all.
And you remember yesterday the president launched the district improvement program, which I believe it's very thoughtful, quite innovative, and the government is doing a lot in terms of road construction. We continue to boast that in this current Fourth Republic, no administration has constructed, reconstructed, maintained, rehabilitated all the words and the synonyms you could use to suggest road improvement and connectivity, I mean, in the history of this Fourth Republic than this current administration. Beyond the construction we've done, government is also seeking to make sure that there is interconnectivity within our district. So government brought up the idea every district is going to have a set of construction equipment that would help improve greatly the road access within the district and the communities. As a doctor, one of the delays that contribute, for example, to maternal mortality is that if you are diagnosed of, for example, having prolonged labor and you would need surgical intervention, and the particular facility, be it a compound or health center or polyclinic, is not having a theater service, you need to be at least transported to the nearest facility that has theater service. And if the road is bad, you can guess the delay that can be occasioned and the effect on the mother and the baby. So if you have such intervention, personally, as a doctor, I'm quite pleased with that and what it portends to the health sector vis-a-vis interconnectivity from facility to facility to help improve the outcomes of emergency conditions in particular. So we laud the government, we applaud the government, and we pray that at the district level, all stakeholders and interested persons.
But why now?
It had been on the table since last year, and you need to go through procurement processes, and of course the buying of the machines will take time, clearing will take time, and all that. And government purse is always tight, so government has an eye on each and every sector. So at least better late than never. At least from now, if we're able to take care of it for years to come, we can imagine the improvements that it will bring at the district level.
One of the comments made by the Chamber of Construction Industry is where the MMDAs will get the funds to maintain these heavy-duty equipment. You know, in Ghana, it's beautiful when we get things, but the maintenance culture is a very, very critical problem. One of the questions on the minds of the people who are in the industry is this.
Yeah, so government has taken notice of all that and has planned accordingly. For the first 2 years, we have manufacturer's warranty. So the manufacturer would set up regional offices to maintain the machines. And beyond that, government is partnering with the private sector to oversee the maintenance of this machine. Government is not going to give it to the district to burden them in terms of monies and finances to maintain the equipment. It's centrally located. So we have a private sector that would come in, that would ensure that the machine is put to good use, and of course is maintained as and when it needs to, is repaired when there need be, and all that. And beyond that, government has taken the pains to train at least 3 persons per equipment. 3 persons per equipment. So if you are trained, you know how to use it, you know how to at least start some first aid, in quote, services on those machines, then at least we can speak to the longevity and proper usage of those machines. So yes, we understand the concerns, but government has taken notice of all government interventions that has suffered some maintenance issues and all that, and has planned accordingly vis-a-vis the partnering with the private sector to oversee the maintenance and repairs of those equipment. So yes, all fears should be allayed. That's indeed government thought ahead to make provisions for that.
Okay. The flag bearers of the leading parties, that's the NPP and NDC, are out there on campaign grounds, and there are a number of things they've said, particularly in regards to your flag bearer, who says that, well, Ghanaians do not want a second-hand president. What's your thoughts on that?
Good morning once again, and we fail to even greet ourselves, Malik, and our good viewers who have joined us, and a very special good morning to the President, His Excellency, and our flag bearer, the Vice President of the Republic. Clearly, he's been in the northern parts of the country for the past 3 to 4 weeks, canvassing for support, telling people what he wants to do, the next chapter of the country, the bold solutions he suggested to help improve our lots as Ghanaians, and to offer some relief to our everyday problems and the ones that we encounter day in, day out. And he's made an emphatic statement, as your introductory message said. I mean, clearly, the fight is between himself and his senior brother, Mr. John Dramani Mohammed, His Excellency, the former president. And we've had the benefit of experiencing a former president and what he did. I mean, in just to use 3 sentences to describe his tenure: he's been tried, he failed, and he was rejected by Ghanaians on 2 occasions, setting some unwanted records at the first sitting president to lose elections, coming back again, another unwanted record to be the first former president to lose an election as well in our country. And we've seen how he ruled us and what he did, the abysmal performance that occasioned his presidency and his administration, and what we've experienced. At least the 2 of them have had the benefit of occupying one of the highest seats in the country, which is the vice presidency. Dr. Bawumia has had the opportunity to meet with Ghanaians, look them in their faces, to tell them what he's done as vice president. We've not had the benefit of that from Mr. Mahama. And of course, the solutions that either party is proposing, you can clearly tell one that has coherence, the one that addresses the needs of today and make provisions for the future to come. And it's clear, who would you go for? Is it one that you've tried, one that has failed, one that has been rejected, or one that has performed creditably in his role as vice president and is proposing ideas that have propensity to making sure that today's needs are taken care of and make provisions for tomorrow? One that has learned on the job, one that has, we've seen his footprint everywhere across the country, and the ideas and the various interventions he's championed as vice president. So clearly, he's made an emphatic call. And for everyone listening, especially the youth, looking at the 2, which of the two leaders would you trust your future with? Is it the one that came and cancelled your allowance? Is it the one that came and told you I can't create jobs for you, I'm not a magician? Is it the one that came and promised jobs, hired teachers, and after 3 years paid them just 3 months salary? Recently we saw some video resurfacing on our social media and seeing some seniors from the medical school who worked under him for 11 good months without salary. They had to picket at the ministries before their salaries were paid. So we can spell out all the ills and the effects and the trauma we went through as Ghanaians when former President Mahama was our leader. I mean, what's really described and summed up his administration is the wanton failure, the incompetence and the abysmal performance that characterized administration and plunging our country into perpetual darkness under his reign. So clearly, it's a choice between light and day. You go for one that has shown credibility, you go for one that has shown humility and the presence of mind to be able to, control himself, have the emotional intelligence to control himself in times of adversity. Empathetic leader like Dr. Bawumia, and one that has also shown that indeed I have what it takes to be a leader and I have the ideas that will push the country forward and propel us into perpetual prosperity. So clearly he's made the call, and I believe every Ghanaian, irrespective of our background or where we come from, we can clearly put the two on the scale to measure them in terms of competence, in terms of credibility, in terms of ideas, in terms of humility, personality, and all that. And the choice, like I said, is Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. So yes, he made a right call, which I believe you and I, in our sober moments, would clearly give the green light to Dr. Bawumia. So yes, we encourage Ghanaians to engage with him. He's doing his regional tour. He's engaging with people. He's telling them what he can do and what he's done and his effects, the solutions he's proposing to help us. So I believe it's the right call, and he's made an emphatic call, an emphatic statement on the competence of the two, on the track record of the two, and one that can.
But it doesn't lie in his hand. It lies in the thumbs of Ghanaians. If he says Ghanaians do not need.
That's why he's telling you that yes, one has been president before. He calls him second-hand president in the sense that you've been there, we've seen you. So a second-hand, in quote, object is one that. But the
vice president has also been there as the head of the economic management.
An advisory role he played. So yes.
So he was the driver's mate.
He's the mate. Mr. Muhammad made a similar comment after Prof. Mills passed and he took the reins of governance. He made a similar comment. And when he was trying to get the North to become president, he told Ghanaians, give me the steer. I was a spare driver. Even when he was in the seat, formally and constitutionally mandated, sworn into office, he still described himself as a mate. And his chief of staff went to the North and told the good people of Ghana that don't vote for the MPP because the Dr. Bawumia, who is campaigning in the North as one of you to be given the opportunity to become president, can only be a mate under Nandanko Akufo-Addo. So it's a general perception shared by both parties. Mr. Mahama himself, his chief of staff, and of course Dr. Bawumia, and he's a vice president. No matter how you look at it, he's the vice president. If indeed he was occupying any position of presidency for 2 terms, I don't think he would have come back for re-election. Okay. But he's had the opportunity and the mandate to contest for presidency because yes, he's indeed a vice president. He's not running away from any difficulties that has occasioned or this government has experienced. During his UPSA lecture he gave, he spelled out the difficulties we face as a government, the achievements of his boss and the administration in general, the challenges we faced. He clearly associated with all that, and of course took the opportunity to tell Ghanaians what he's done in his capacity, the influences he's had on each and every sector as vice president, for which he said, I've given you my CV, looked at my CV and give me the opportunity to lead. So it's as basic as it can be.
Okay, Malik.
Eli, good morning.
Good morning once again.
And good morning to my brother. First of all, I think it's high time we told Alhaji Bawumia that presidency is serious business. To be president of the Republic of Ghana, you need to be serious, you need to be focused, and you need to come around with a certain gravitas so that more than 30 million Ghanaians will feel proud calling you their president. Yesterday, I listened to Dr. Tony Edu. And in fact, I listened to one of their founding members, Dr. Nyahunya Utamakulu, who said, we need to, for once, sit Alhaji Bawumia down and tell him that, sir, what you are contesting for is bigger than what may be in your mind that you want. You are going to become, or you are aspiring to become the president and commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Enough of the jokes. Enough of the playful acts on panel, on stage, and all of that. Throughout this campaign, Bawumia has 3 messages. Anywhere he goes, he first says, vote for me because I'm a Muslim. He says, vote for me because I am a Northerner. And he says, vote for me because I can do 8 years. What sort of warped message is this? So of all the crises you and I find ourselves in, spare part dealers are crying, NAPCO trainees are crying, unemployed teacher trainees are crying, nursing trainees are crying, including doctors are struggling for salaries. Cost of living is high in this country. We cannot buy petrol, we cannot pay electricity tariffs, water prices are high, food commodities, inflation is skyrocketing. Come to the dollar. And you think that the panacea to these problems, and these problems we Ghanaian people find ourselves in, is that 1, you are a Muslim, you are Malam. 2, you are a Northerner. And 3, that he can do 8 years. Look, let us advise him. Yesterday, I listened to him say, we cannot have a second-hand president. Lily, whether second-hand, whether Bruni Wau, whether fool's bail, it is better than a liar. Anybody, my mother used to say that, always avoid liars in your life. And Dr. Bawumia, you are known to be a chronic liar. In recent past, everything you have promised, you have lied. Even today, the things you say on platforms, you lie. Your own president. You went to Cape Coast and promised them a hammer. When Mr. Akufo-Addo got there and they asked him, he said he never had it in their manifesto. So indirectly, Akufo-Addo called his own vice president a liar. Bawumia went to Yendi. He promised Yana an agricultural university. He promised Yana an airstrip. Till date, not a block has been sent there. He lied. He went to Savulugu. And in recent time, when he was campaigning, the Savulugu Yona told him, he said, Mr. Man, you came here promising all sorts of things. You said you're going to give us an agric university, convert the Pont Tamale. You're going to construct the Wale Wale to Savulugu road. He said, what has happened? Bawumia was looking at him, scratching his head. And Yona said, look, you cannot, such a character cannot come back here promising me juicy things. Go back and fulfill your promises. He went to Techiman, met nursing trainees, stood on the podium. We have paid your alawa. Nobody owes again. Mahama cancelled it. And a young nurse of about 18 years stood up and said, sir, you are the age of my father. But if you lie, I'll tell you you've lied. Please, I have not received alawa. For 3 years of being in this institution, they haven't paid me alawa. Bawumia looked at her and rubbed her head and sweat. Stood up and finally told the young lady, I didn't know. I need to ask the finance minister. Really? He does not have an appreciation of things we have in this country. Look, President Mohammed, you can decide to term him as a second-hand president or whatever. But that second-hand president sold petrol at 13 cedis a gallon. We appreciate it. We thank our second-hand president. That second-hand president changed the dollar at 4 cedi 20 pesos. Thank you very much, second-hand president. That second-hand president was able to sell an olonka of gare for 8 Ghana cedis. We thank you, Mr. President. That president was able to regularize and solve Dumso in 2016 by bringing power batches. And I keep saying that in 2007, when Dumso first befell this country, you know the solution of the MPP? They went to Suhum, Apedra, Community 1, and took pastors to Akosomo. Lily, you remember? You are a renowned journalist. They went and placed their hands on the Akosomo Dam, that they are praying for it. When President Mahama came, he said Dumso is not a spiritual problem. Dumso is not caused by dwarfs and jinns. Dumso is a technical one. He had to go and bring car power 250 megawatts. He brought Ameri 250 megawatts and beefed up power generation in this country to over 5,000 megawatts. Today, you the MPP even cry and say there's excess power. If you don't have available power, will you have excess power? So that was what we did in resolving it. And today you term such a man as a second-hand man. Look, we thank him very much. But we want to tell Baumia that this thing of always going around and saying that he's never been president, I get surprised. There is only a myth. Take the Constitution. Go to Article 68. It clearly says that in the absence of the president, the vice president assumes office. Now, today, I would let you all understand that of all the times Baumia acted as president in this country, he engaged in gargantuan corruption. Number one, on the 30th July 2018, and the document is here, 30th July 2018, Nanado traveled to the ECOWAS assembly. They were to elect an ECOWAS president. 30th July, note it. On that same day, Parliament was rising. And so they needed to present the Ameri innovation deal. You remember when they went to renegotiate and all of that? That deal was supposed to be 510 million. The day they were presenting it, Nanado was out of town. Baumia was acting as president in this country. When they brought the deal to Baumia, he looked at it and said 510 million is too small. They ballooned it from 510 to 1.3 billion and presented it to Parliament. When Parliament caught them red-handed and said, look, this Ameri deal has been ballooned. It's been increased. This is not what President Mohammed signed. Baumia came out. I'm struggling with my throat a bit because I worked in Tamale. Baumia, absolutely. Baumia came and sat down and was totally embarrassed for attempting to smuggle over 800 million in addition to 510, making it 1.3. That was when Baumia acted as president. That's one. Number two, Nanado traveled to go and watch a UEFA Champions League match in Madrid, between Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur. Nanado left this country in July 2019, on the 19th of July, to go and watch the match. Baumia acted as president. Immediately Baumia took over as president. He convened a meeting, asked them to bring all the PDS regulations. They ballooned, they sat down, and first, Baumia changed a condition subsequent precedent to a condition subsequent. He asked them to change the documents from a bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee. And they presented fraudulent documents to government of Ghana. That was the doing of Baumia. The FTI report on this particular deal said that that particular meeting was chaired by Baumia because by then Nanado was out and Baumia took over as president. They attempted duping this country to a tune of $190 million. They were stripped naked. In fact, as for this one, it didn't even take the minority. Their own minister at the time, Amewu, was the one who said the documents they presented were fraudulent. And that was the doing of this Alhaji Baumia. Just taking over office as president for just 2 days, he attempted duping the people of this country. Number three, Nanado traveled to Uganda. And in fact, in that particular trip, he was going to Belgium and Uganda. That was when they had a private jet for £20,000 an hour, if you remember. When Nanado left this country, Baumia started acting as president. Immediately, Baumia assumed office as president. On that same day, that was in September, he issued that they write a letter to the port because he had heard that a certain businessman had imported 10,000 bags of lily rice from Thailand. They siphoned this rice from the contractor, took it, seized it, and shared the rice as salad rice. This was Baumia as president. He took the office of the special prosecutor to start investigation into this matter. And when investigation had gone deep, Baumia's office said they knew nothing about it. It was his administrator called Kekose who had engaged in this corruption. Meanwhile, that was when he took over presidency for just 1 day. All these instances were when Baumia took over presidency for 1 day, and this corrupt deal started coming. Number four, Charles Edubwain told us that before you even sit near Baumia, anytime he takes over office as president, you need to pay $250,000. And his own Charles Edubwain said, Baumia now knows much about corrupt concessions and how to give concessions to galamseyers, to the extent that you must pay him all these dubious monies before you go and get a concession site. That was again when Baumia took over his office. So, in these four instances, anytime Nanado was out of the country and Baumia assumed office as president for just 2 days, there was a corrupt scandal on him. If such a character...
But you know the OSP uncovered that Baumia was not aware Charles Edubwain was.
It's not true. In the letter, the OSP said Baumia's corruption was so big that we needed to now pass a Corrupt Practices Act, and that his office had ended investigation because they did not have jurisdiction to progress with investigation on the vice president. And the OSP was begging you and I to pass a corrupt practices act before they're able to investigate Bawumia's gargantuan corruption. So, Lily, all we are saying is that this act of Bawumia going around there, trying to appear as a saint, try to pretend and behave as if it's a new commodity. Please, we know you. I have said that you can bath a monkey, you can shave the monkey, you can put lip gloss on the monkey. It will still be a monkey. Bawumia is known as a liar. He's known as a highly incredible person. He's known as one who says one thing and does another. He's known as one who goes around peddling falsehood, and he has never been truthful to even himself, not to talk of being truthful to the Ghanaian people. We are pleading on him. The contest to presidency in 2024 is about policy. President Mahama has gone out there. He's professed policy solutions. In Tamale, when you listen to the shop, many people even thought it was a manifesto launch. President Mahama has spoken about the 24-hour economy that seeks to create sustainable jobs for the Ghanaian youth, boost productivity, grow our GDP rates, and move us into an exports gear. That's good news for this country. President Mahama spoke about building mining refineries and mining communities. Never in the history of this country have we thought that way. President Mahama says he would do it for Ghanaian communities. President Mahama has spoken about building refineries in cocoa growing areas. The cocoa growing communities are happy about this because they want to see their raw cocoa being processed into finished commodities for them to also get value in this country.
Former President Mahama think about this when he was president?
He did. He did. But you see, where we found ourselves then is not where we find ourselves in today. By then, a gallon of petrol was 13 cedis. Today, a gallon of petrol is going for 75 cedis. At the point, it was 100 cedis. What it tells you and I is that we need to reset this country and put it back on track. At the time, why? We had Dumso. President Mahama needed to resolve Dumso. At the time, we were fighting for even an additional oil field. If you remember, in 2016, we won the case and that oil field came back on board. At the time, there were petty crises. President Mahama was stabilizing. And he did it remarkably well. And at least, we all know that even with the monies President Mahama had, we saw what he did. Why? If at the time President Mahama thought of building hospitals in this country, he did. He built the Ridge Hospital, Bolgatanga Hospital, Tamale Teaching Hospital. If he thought of building factories in this country, he did. He built the Bipeshan Actor Factory, the Daboya Smoke Factory, revamped the Commander Sugar Factory, built the Kumasi Shoe Factory. If President Mahama ever thought at that time of even building schools, he did. He built E-blocks, Empire Community Day School, Daboya Community Day School, so many E-blocks all around, including their flower one. If at the time President Mahama thought of building markets, he did. He built the KJTR market, Kotokraba market, so many markets. If at the time President Mahama thought of building airports, he did. He built the Terminal 3. He built the Tamale International Airport, the whole airport, the Sunyani Airport. If President Mahama thought of building interchanges at the time, he did. He built the cycle interchange, Kaswa interchange, so many interchanges in this country. If he thought of constructing roads, he did. And that was how come he was termed as the infrastructural king in this country. So now, after all what President Mahama did by then, he thinks that we now have sufficient chances of beginning the 24-hour economy in this country. And that's all what President Mahama goes around saying. So we are not interested in going into a banter with Bawumia. We already know that Bawumia is talented at dancing offbeat. He's talented at looking for a steer everywhere he goes. He says, give me a steer. Children will be shouting, Boaben, Boaben. He'll be playing with them. We are interested in policy. We feel the plight of over 1.8 million unemployed Ghanaian youth, and we think that instead of dancing or holding a steer or misbehaving there, we will go there, we'll profess solution, and we think that on the back of the solutions we've professed, the Ghanaian people will vote for the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and at least the first female vice president. That's good news to you, Lily. First female vice president.
Well, for me as a woman,
yes,
if we have a woman president, I would be extremely happy. Especially now that we've passed the affirmative action bill.
I see joy in your face. It'll be done. It'll be done.
No, but that is why even though I support Donald Trump, I am for Kamala Harris.
I like that. That's fantastic. I like that.
Anyway, Doc, I see that when he was speaking,
my brother has churned out a lot of untruth. And I suppose if we are to judge by his own standards, I don't know if he would call himself a liar. Mr. Mohammed didn't build Ridge Hospital. He didn't build Kotokraba Market. In your own studios, Star FM, Mr. Dufo, Dr. Dufo, was here. And he said as finance minister, he signed the contract for the loan for Kotokraba Market, for Ridge Hospital, and a host of other projects. Mr. Mohammed has no hand in Kotokraba Market.
So
give some credit to the man from Central Region.
Who is the Prof Mills?
At least we've had a man, a professor as such, from Central Region, who has become a president. Prof Mills was so magnanimous in that when he completed the N1 highway, he told Ghanaians, please, it is not my project. The Millennium Challenge account that constructed that road, it's not my project. It's President Kufuor's project. So he invited President Kufuor to the commissioning of the road.
I never mentioned N1 here.
I'm giving an example. So if today, after Prof. Mills passed, he held your hand against all odds to the disaffection of other members in your own party and made you a vice president. And after him, you took over as president. The least you can do for Prof. Mills is to credit him with the things he did. Radio Hospital, Kotokraba Market, as my brother is saying, they are all Prof. Mills' projects. Mr. Mahama has no hand anywhere. Are you telling us that Mr. Mahama built Tamale Teaching Hospital? When Tamale Teaching Hospital was training doctors, Mr. Mahama was still an MP or had not even gone to Parliament. Are you telling Ghanaians that he built Bogatanda Hospital? It is not true. So why do you sit on a platform to tell lies that doctors are also trying hard to receive salaries? It is never the case. If there is any government that has been so magnanimous to doctors, it's this government. The government has signed condition of service. Aside the yearly increment in public sector salaries, the doctors over the past 2 years have at least benefited from the condition of service that comes at the middle of the year every year in this administration. Doctors are not struggling to receive salaries. The doctors in our recent history who struggled, the junior doctor, house officers, those who had completed school and started working afresh, they worked 11 good months under Mr. Mahama, the competent one, than receiving salaries. It is never the case in this administration. Even when I was a house officer, in a record 2.5 months in 2017, I received my salaries. 2015, under Mr. Mahama, doctors worked for 11 months. Today, doctors are receiving free education. Do you know you are receiving free education? You can walk from your studios to the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Every doctor receiving training to become a specialist in this country, the Kufuor NPP administration has made schooling free. They don't pay school fees. Hitherto under administration, we were paying fees. The doctors who had car waiver motivation, President Kufuor introduced, Prof. Mills continued. Mr. Mahama under administration came to cancel them. So any doctor, any healthcare worker who is listening to us can judge between the two. The one that came and cancelled the allowances, government owes the nurses, but like the nurses to say, allowances delayed, better allowances cancelled. You cancel them, and you are making a U-turn to come and say that when you come, you continue. Can we take you serious? If governance is about seriousness, then one that has occupied the position that you expect some form of seriousness from the person who claimed free SHS should not be implemented on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician, stood on a platform, lied to Ghanaians and said he introduced free SHS. The person who has occupied the position and we expect some seriousness from him, per the words of my brother, stood on a platform, met journalists and told them it is the NDC that introduced NHIS from Nkranza and Damongo, but it's not true. It was the community leaders and the community people in conjunction with the Catholic Church that introduced those health insurance in those communities. It is never true. So if it's about lies, your candidate who has been a vice president, who has been a president also, stood on a platform and in all seriousness looked in the faces of the people who sell his message and lied to them. Is governance about lies? So if Dr. Bawumia has said one or two things that didn't come to pass, and your candidate who has been a president before and is expected to know better, expected to see the presidency as a serious business, it's clearly. I have not admitted it. I said if. I said if. I used a conditional clause. Okay. I used a conditional clause. I said if. I used a conditional clause. So please listen to me. Okay. That indeed, if it's about seriousness and lies, the one who has occupied the position before expected to know better, coming to lie to us, and you are here repeating the lies. Kotokraba Market, there's not his project. Ridge Hospital, there's not his project. Doctors are struggling to receive salaries. Meanwhile, under your administration, union doctors worked for 3 months without getting salaries, and 11 months without getting salaries. And you talk about certain things Dr. Bawumia has promised that didn't come to pass. In your manifesto, 2012 manifesto, you promised the youth of Ghana that right after university, send your CV to regional resource center that I'm going to build. And government is going to give you startups to start businesses. Government is going to employ you straight away. How many youth did you set up with those entrepreneur startups? How many youth? He promised you, Lily. He promised you Media Development Fund. Where is that 1 million Ghana seed capital? He promised the people of Western region, that I'm going to construct a dual carriage from Accra to Western region. Where is that? The chiefs of Savannah came to him at the presidency and begged him, you are one of us, you are from the north, please, we beg you, create our own region for us. And he took this administration, led by Nabdanko Ekufuado, to give them a region. I'm talking about roads in the north. I used the Bogatanga to Boku road in 2019. Today, the 117-kilometer road, we've had 70-kilometer aspect of it done under this administration. I'm talking about road in the north. The first interchange ever in the history of the north is the Tamale interchange. We are talking about roads, Tatale, Yendi, Tamale, 160-kilometer road. In fact, the Tatale to Yendi aspect of that road had never seen any form of construction in the history of this country. But it took this administration to construct the roads. So we're talking about what? Improvements in the north and what we have brought up there. The hospitals we are building, 28 district hospitals being put up in the north. And what? The phase 2, phase 3, Tamale, Wa Regional Hospital, President Kufuor started. You couldn't complete within 8 years. It took this administration to complete those facilities. There's phase 3 of Tamale Teaching Hospital, the Bogatanga Teaching Hospital, phase 2, all completed with this administration. Even the very project you started in the north, Buipe, Sola, Tolong, Bimbila, Bamboy, Mr. Mohammed's hometown, all those health projects you started, you couldn't even complete. I came to complete them. So if Dr. Bawumia is saying that, yes, give me the steer to become the president, he knows what he's talking about. Talking about Dumso. Now you solved Dumso. You didn't solve Dumso. You started bringing the power budgets into the country 2014, 2015. But even as of March 2017, we're having Dumso. We knew, and everyone knows, that the problem of our challenge in the energy sector was clearly due to finances. So yes, you were able to bring in IPPs, take or pay IPPs into the country. But even after bringing those IPPs, were we having light? The problem was crude. We were not having money to buy crude oil. The Ghanaian knows under whose presidency Ghanaians suffered the worst form of humiliation, which is Mr. Mahama. Talking about economic indices. Yes, you are failing to tell Ghanaians where you took the CD from, the percentage of depreciation, where you took inflation from, the percentage of increment you added. And we are not running away from the economy. We've had challenges, we've had some, bad experiences, post-COVID, peak period, the exchange, the depreciation, and whatnot, and inflation. But the good thing is that we can see the trend. The good thing is that I can walk to Ghanaians and tell them that when I took the realms of power, and we were doing ABC under Mr. Mahama. This is what I did my first term. I didn't know about COVID. I didn't know the effect I was going to suffer. But even when we got to the peak of our problems, this is what I've put in place. And these are the indications now. Talking about corruption, I don't want to belabor the point. Let's put the two in front of the Ghanaian. And let's ask every Ghanaian, the almost 33 million people we have in Ghana, to point to the two. Which of them is corrupt? You are trying so hard to bring Dr. Bawumia into the fold of corruption. But every Ghanaian knows he's incorruptible and he will never be corrupt. And Dr. Bawumia cannot buy rice. Lily, if Dr. Bawumia, it's Salah, after fasting for 1 month, he needs to go and do donation for people to eat rice. You are telling me Dr. Bawumia cannot buy rice. He needs to go and steal people's rice. I can even donate for Dr. Bawumia to go and even donate rice for people. So you are trying so hard to bring Dr. Bawumia into the fold of corruption because you've not been able to cleanse yourself of corruption. And you remember the statement of Honorable Martin Amidu that Mr. Mahama's administration was so corrupt that he feared that in the next 20 years, no Northerner will be given opportunity to rule the country because of the bad precedent Mr. Mahama has set. And you are coming back to come and tell us that he's all of a sudden metamorphosed into a new person. But we've experienced him. All that he's championing today, he promised them. He promised teachers, I'm going to give you accommodation in the 2012 manifesto. Where is it? He promised all the agro-processing things you're talking about today. Where are they? He promised the people the jobs. And in the end, he told Ghanaians that it's not just to create jobs. Remember his minister, Honorable Rashid Pepu. He told Ghanaian youth to go and cut grasses to come and sell by the roadside. And Mr. Mahama himself told us he can't put money in our pockets. All of a sudden, you're a magician to come and create jobs. With your slogan 24-hour economy, which you can't even explain. People are talking about eating wache at 2 a.m. Others are saying we are going to eat fufu at 3 a.m. Others are saying we are going to rear elephants. Now, NDC Dienka or Snowfan, to the extent that your 24-hour economy means we are going to rear cattle, we are going to rear elephants, we are going to rear lions, we are going to rear tigers, and export them to Pudong. And there's total confusion, even within your sectors. And you are telling now that Dr. Bawumia is not proposing ideas. They've not heard about the tax amnesty. It's very obvious, pick and choose. They've not heard about the flat rate system at our ports. obviously pick and choose. They've not heard about Dr. Bawumia touting that he's coming to train 1 million Ghanaian youth in ICT, coding, and whatnot. And if you put the two down, Mr. Digital and Mr. Doolittle, which of them would you believe as a youth to train you in ICT? Dr. Bawumia has mentioned reforms at the ports. Dr. Bawumia has mentioned free education at the tertiary level for persons with disability. Dr. Bawumia has mentioned reforms at the mining sector, and he's going to set up the Mineral Development Fund to support miners. Dr. Bawumia has mentioned a host of others. If there is any party which is confused and lack credibility, lack messaging, it's Mr. Malik and his party. They can't even explain their own slogan. They're talking about GHOne Kitenkete. And if governance is a serious business, and you've been vice president, you've been president before, and you want to come back and tell Ghanaians, vote for me again to become president, and you are telling us all I have for you is GHOne Kitenkete, battery cage system, make us set up battery cage system, give you 3 chicken, give you 3 hen, let them meet, and let them lay eggs, come and sell in a packet for us. So if governance is about serious business, then you come and tell us that when you assume office, you are going to remark our WASI papers, and that is a solution you are bringing on board. If governance is about serious business, you won't tell Ghanaians that when I come, I'm going to use local players to play Black Stars. So when Mohammed Kudus and Pate are shining at the EPO stage, they are not going to be part of Black Stars because what? I'm going to use local players. Indeed, governance is about serious business. And I totally agree with my brother. It is the reason why when you have a president who has been vice president, who has been a minister, who has been deputy minister, who has been an assemblyman, who has been an MP, with all the experience and the expertise you expect in that person, comes to be president, and he fails wantonly, and he disrespects the youth at the time he needed job and money in our pocket, he tells you he's not a magician. If that same person is coming back to tell you, Lily, that I'm going to give you a job, I'm going to put money in your pocket, would you take such person serious? If governance is indeed it's about seriousness, then you have a former president go home only to come and tell the people of Ghana that all I have for you is to legalize Okada. You won't have a former president go home, come back, and when he wants power, tell the people in the Zongos that all I have for you is to build more trees for you. Right. So that when you die, when I subject you to abject penury, when you die, when conditions are bad and you die, all I have for you are mortuaries for you to go and enjoy yourself. And please, affirmative action. This government has passed the bill. We believe in the power of women, but it is not every woman you need to elect to come and lead you.
Really?
Yes, and by God's grace, we've seen the handiwork of the running mates of Mr. Mohammed, his education minister, and the worst form of our educational sector we've experienced this for the public happened under her. You employ teachers for 3 months, 36 months. You pay them just 3 months' salary as education minister. You are a mother, Lily. Would you ask your children to pay utility bills at home when they are not working? But Professor Nopokwajiman, as education minister, UPSA declaration 25th March 2015 passed the bill that forced the hands of university students, now public universities, to pay electricity and water bills. Which mother will do that to you? As education minister, you couldn't provide chalk, and now we are being told that he's going to take care of our health sector. Should NDC come back to power? If the person could not provide chalk to teach our children in our basic schools, how can that person provide theater for you to do your cesarean section when you need it? How can that person provide teaching hospitals for you? So clearly, it is not everyone. We understand. We love our mothers. We cherish women, and we want women to go far. But of course, the woman that you need to give an opportunity to come and lead us or to become a vice president one day should be the one that has the credibility, should be the one that has shown with the little position he or she has occupied to show the lead, to say that yes, this person can be trusted. Not the person who held teachers promotion for 4 years, not the person who did not give teachers steady leave for 4 years, not the person who could not pay the 3 years teachers worked and only pay them 3 months. That person who could not provide chalk should not be the person you should vote for to become a vice president. Governance is indeed about serious business, and I totally agree with Malik. So if it's about serious business, and Professor Nopokwajiman, as education minister, could not provide chalk, how can she sustain free SHS? If she could not provide chalk, how can she sustain the smart school system? We are giving teachers laptops. We are giving children tablets to study. How can she sustain that if she could not provide chalk? And clearly, you can tell, it's once again a choice between light and day. Dr. Bawumia, if he tells you that I'm going to occupy the position for 8 years, all he's trying to tell you is that after 4 years, you have the benefit of weighing my performance. I'll come back to you after 4 years to come and tell you what I've done with my office. Don't go for a person, even when he wanted to be president again, told you he's not magician to create job. That person, when you give the opportunity, cannot come back and account for his stewardship. We've tested him, he failed, and he was rejected. So if you have anyone in mind to propose ideas, to help, and to come on board with expertise, with humility and credibility, is Dr. Bawumia. So my brother can sit here and sing all the song. But when you put Dr. Bawumia before the Ghanaian, and we ask the two, which of them has credibility, which of them will do associate corruption with, the people of Ghana will tell you. And who has policy to guide you for the future? Is it that confirming kiti, gokobu kiti, fufu at 2 a.m. and whatnot, remarking of WASI papers, using what local blasters players? Is that what you call policy? But Bawumia is proposing policies that will meet the demands of today and propel us.
But is fufu at 2 a.m. bad? I mean, as a doctor?
Oh, fufu at 2 a.m. to go back and sleep.
No, I'm asking, is it bad? Because I'm asking because I'm very guilty.
Are you a construction worker? So you eat fufu at 2 a.m.
I'm eating tea.
You see the bad influence of the NDC.
Well,
look at you eat fufu at 2 a.m.
This is not
if the construction worker, if the construction worker is not going to carry,
you eat
it at 2 a.m.
Yes, I can. Yes, I.
You actually, we are talking about non-communicable diseases. Recently, we've been discussing dialysis and renal disease. And you know the chief culprit of renal diseases? Hypertension, diabetes, and Lily. You are following Malik to eat fufu at 2 a.m.
So I was asking.
So you go and sleep, wake up at 5 and come back to work.
As a medical doctor, is it bad?
It is very bad. There's no healthcare worker who would encourage you to eat fufu at 2 a.m. Even those that are saying we shouldn't even eat bankun to this tune, even during the day. And Lily will wake up at 2 a.m. to go and eat fufu.
Oh, but when I'm craving
you don't fear diabetes at all. You don't fear hypertension. You don't fear kidney disease.
So
if you don't take care, that's why you need to vote Akufo-Addo. To sustain the free dialysis program and to make it free for everyone in the near future. If you are eating fufu at 2 a.m., if Felix and Malik are influencing you to eat fufu at 2 a.m., then clearly it's a bad habit.
Okay, Lily, anyway.
First of all, this is a story in 2014, October 23rd. It says, President Mahama is set to cut short for the construction of the Kotokraba market in Cape Coast, 2014. Who was president by then? President Mahama. Was Atameos president in 2014?
Oh, no. You credit him.
I beg your pardon, please. Respectfully. Atameos, was he president in 2014? No. Even if it was a project of Atameos, is Atameos MPP?
No.
Is Atameos CPP? Atameos is NDC. So since when did you start banking your hopes on the backs of projects of our former president? Is it because Napo has insulted Kufuor and insulted JB Dankwa and insulted former presidents that even and had to come and apologize to even Kufuor? Is it because of that you are also disassociating yourself from Kufuor and trying to use Atameos' projects? I mean, we need to rise up above that. You said you guys built district hospitals in Tolong, Bole. Go and ask Bawumia. Does he know where the loan came from? We got the loan from the Raiffeisen Bank of Vienna, 89 million euros. Go and ask Bawumia whether if he got such money, he will use it to construct a hospital. When Akufo-Addo by chance came by little monies from the international communities, every day he was flying private jets and enjoying. When Bawumia went and got little 3 million from China, the first thing he thought of doing was to appoint his brother, Mumuni Bawumia, at the Interior Ministry. Appoint his sister, Laraba, as NDA boss CEO. Appoint his wife's father, Mr. Ramadan, as ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Appoint his wife's brother, Abu Ramadan, as deputy, and including many family members, because money had come and he could pay family people. The national cake was turned into a family cake by Bawumia. That was what he thought of doing. If President Mahama had also decided to do that, would he have built the Tolong Hospital? Would he have built the BP Hospital? Would he have built the Sola Hospital, the Bamboy Hospital, the Somenya Hospital, for you to come and sit today and attempt taking glory off? You spoke about Prof. Jane and said she didn't give people chalks. Wow. For 6 years, textbooks have not been sent to junior high schools. 6 years under Napo. Napo was education minister. NAPO refused to give junior high schools textbooks for them to study. At least without chalk, you can get a book to read. What NAPO thought of doing was to introduce homosexuality through a curriculum, comprehensive sexuality education. It was NAPO to our schools. Our parents, PTAs, had to fight against it. I was one of the people who swore everything that if NAPO wants to lead this country into being a Sodom and Gomorrah, I won't stand and allow him do that. He introduced homosexuality. We boycotted it. Till date, he only said it's been suspended. They want to come back into office so they can bestow homosexuality on the people of this country. And that is the plan of Bawumia and NAPO in this country. So I prefer they not being chalks, even if it was true.
But that would be unfair to Dr. Bawumia for somebody who is a practicing Muslim.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised, because he's also never even commented on it. He keeps dodging the question. Ever since Nanado said it was bound to happen
he
at Al Jazeera, they keep dodging the question of homosexuality. When it's put to them, they avoid it in this country. And sometimes I'm surprised about the interest, but I know that NAPO has a straight interest in that, and they definitely want to come back and then reintroduce that comprehensive sexuality education. Number 3, you said President Mohammed lied, and policies he said he was going to do, he didn't do them. Which policies did he say he was going to do that he didn't do? You sat here, and I showed you things we are done, things President Mohammed promised the people of this country and came and did. I recounted a lot of them. I don't want to repeat it. And there was no justification to that. You said President Mohammed said he was going to introduce Okada. Oh, really? MPP, you now insult Okada riders. You say that is his policy, introducing Okada. It is a very good policy. Look, aside even people sitting on motorbikes to go in short or long distances during traffic, because there is no regulation today, even an Okada rider breaks your windscreen and you cannot even locate him. But if there's proper regulation, you cannot dare ride a motorbike even without a number plate. Because even if you break my windscreen, I would immediately identify you. That is what regulation is about. And that is what President Mahama seeks to bring. Legalize it and regulate it properly in this country. They don't understand it because they don't have a policy. He said Bawumia said he was going to recruit 1 million youth. You came into office. Unemployment was 7% in this country. Under your watch, very clueless Vice President Bawumia and Head of Economic Management team, unemployment today is 14.8%. You have doubled it and added 8% to it. And they send you to come and defend this. And you come and say NDC created unemployment. 14.8. President Mahama was in office. Banks were working. People who were working in these banks were working. You came and collapsed the banks. A problem that could have been solved with 5 billion. You ended up wasting 25 billion. Rendered people unemployed. Deceived the Ghanaian people you were going to recruit NAPO trainees. Today sacked all of them. And you've not even paid them for 18 months in this country. And you have the effrontery to come and speak about people not creating jobs. Go and check your unemployment radar. COVID-19. And I'll keep saying this. COVID was good news to Bawumia and Nanado. In fact, if they had an opportunity today, they will wish COVID came back. Why? 21 billion was given to them during COVID. The Auditor General said they just sat down, planned as a very corrupt, dubious caucus, shared the money. They went to Adakulu. They said they had bought a house for 15 million. Isolation center. They renovated it for 21 million and abandoned it to the mercy of the weather. The finance minister's wife chairs his company, Enterprise Insurance. They said they had issued frontline certificates, insurance certificate to frontline workers. When the Auditor General asked them to even bring a single certificate, they couldn't produce it in this country. The Auditor General said 11 billion was wasted as a result of chop chop. No wonder President Akufo-Addo was whining, dining, bathing in the sky, enjoying life. Bawumia was holding parties, enjoying life, and life was so good. You see his convoy, his wife's convoy, misbehaving with state property and resources. Look, Ivory Coast. When Ivory Coast got their COVID money, they decided to go into farming. They farmed with the money they gave to them. Today, we import tomatoes to a tune of 3 billion from Ivory Coast. Niger is a desert. Lily, you know Niger. It's a desert. Can you believe that last year, we imported pepper from Niger to a tune of 2.2 billion in this country? And you are not ashamed of such leaders. When they send you, you come and sit and you are drawing a comparison. Corruption. The first president to be labeled the mother serpent of corruption in this country is Akufo-Addo. His own special prosecutor told your president that of all corrupt snakes, he was the lead corrupt serpent in this country. Why? Wasn't not Akufo-Addo we caught on tape taking brown envelope with 2 hands? In fact, when they brought the envelope, he did the hand this way, they pulled it back, he sat down, he was salivating for $40,000, Akufo-Addo. And they went and corrupted him with that. Why? Isn't not Akufo-Addo? Then Nyantechi said, when you give 3 million, you bought everything, and Akufo-Addo was in his pocket. This is Nyantechi, president of Ghana Football Association. Former president, a big man. Said me and Akufo-Addo, this is how we do deals. He said, Bawumia, when you give Bawumia $2 million, he will laugh, the head will shake, and he will give you all the contracts in this country. Alistair Matthias, ever heard that name before? He was a gold mafia. He was intercepted in a foreign country. When he was caught, he said, me and Akufo-Addo, we are friends. This is how we share money among ourselves. And then deals, all the contracts in this country, we have taken it. Not only does corruption stink at the presidency, at the agencies. I sat on this panel. These documents you see here today, that's the minister's corrupt practices. I sat here the last time and I exposed the minister of how they attempted capturing the country. You are a doctor. I mean, the people who are chopping are in the offices. You are not enjoying. Instead of you to tie your glove to us, they'll push you to come and sit here. And you come and sit and say, President Mama and Kukon Kete. Look, farming. I'm a northerner. I appreciate farming. And I'm where I am today because my forefathers, they farmed chicken, they farmed millet, they farmed corn. If you've never gone to the north, let me take you through. If we had progressed with the farming of chicken, the farming of corn, the farming of millet, we wouldn't have been importing chicken to a tune of 5 billion in this country. Go to the port and see how chicken, frozen chicken that has stayed over 10 years abroad is imported into this country for you and I to go and chop. And you don't see the need, the sense in it, that we need to start growing our local chicken in this country. President Mahama attempted it, even in 2016. Set up a big poultry farm in Bole. Go and look at it. At least, we are getting somewhere. Price of eggs, a crate of eggs today is about 60, 70 Ghana cedis. Why? Because there are not even chicken to even lay them. Feed for the poultry, the little poultry we have, is so expensive that we cannot even buy. This is an appreciation of the reality in this country. He spoke about Bawumia saying flat rate. You are vice president today. What stops you from doing it? What stops you? You are head of economic management team. You impose taxes on importers and exporters. Today, a container that we used to import for 40,000, they import it for 2 billion. And you sit here and you think it's a laughing matter. It's politics because talk is the only tax-free commodity in this country. So when you get a chance, this one said this, that one said this. Visit the reality. When importers asked Bawumia how he was going to solve it, he said, vote for me. When I come, I'll clear e-levy I brought. E-levy you brought, Bawumia. You are telling us you clear it. Such liar, such a character wants to be vice president in this country. Look, the day Bawumia becomes president will be the day you will see Ghana weeping clearly. And will be the day that we'll ever regret everything. He spoke about people losing election. If there's any man who's lost the greatest election in this country, it is Nana Addo. But you see, me, when people lose election, I don't tease them. The reason is that God has plans for everyone.
Why?
In 98, but Nana Addo contested Kufuor in their primaries. He lost woefully. He came back again in 2008. We defeated him. He was minister. Ghanaians judged him on his record and voted against him. 2012, he came back with this Bawumia. He lost. If in 2016, God decided to give him power, so Ghanaians, we could test, at least, distinguish between water and alcohol. How does that become a crime? That if someone loses election, he should be rejected, he shouldn't be brought back. Then Nana Addo would have never come near presidency again. All we are saying is that, look, let us meet the people halfway. Ghanaians are struggling. Lily, I swear that this morning, somebody is looking for breakfast to eat, common breakfast, and it's very difficult for the person. Somebody's salary has already been consumed. Sometimes I look at people who even take 2,000 cedis. 2,000 used to be big money. Today, it is no money. People take 2,000 and by half of the month, they have exhausted all in transport fares. What used to be dropping fares in 2016 today is trotro fares from Medina to Accra. Those days when you take drop, you pay 15 cedis, no be so. Today, Medina to Accra is almost 20 cedis. And if you pay 20 cedis for 1 week, how much have you spent out of 2,000 Ghana cedis? If you feed and buy light, how much? The youth of this country are suffering. Even the employed are suffering. how much more they're unemployed. So
Okay.
when we get opportunities
gentlemen.
like this, my brother, you are a young man.
I'll take a break here.
Let us
I'll give you
No, you are done. Two bites. This is my two slots.
So
That's all.
we'll move on to another topic.
We are a young man. When we get chances
let me
like
take a quick break
let
here.
us.
When I return, we'll have a discussion on the Attorney General heading to the Supreme Court after Atufosing and Richard Jakpa were acquitted and discharged by the Court of Appeal. We're back shortly. GH today here on GHOne TV. Still the breakfast review. A while ago, we spoke about both the leading candidates for the major political parties, the NPP and the NDC. Let's head to the courts. The Attorney General, Godfrey Adame, says he's heading to the Supreme Court after the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged the two main men in the ambulance trial. That's Dr. Keziel Atufosing and Richard Jakpa, businessman. Since I ended with you, Malik, let me start with you.
I mean, my joy is that fairness has been brought. From 2019, we've been accusing a wrong person, an innocent man, attacking him, he's been vilified, called him all sorts of names. There are people who swore every oracle that Atufosing will go to jail, and all sorts of things. I mean, the man simply said, your government is clueless about even the procurement processes in this country. And you don't understand it. I was Deputy Finance Minister. the fact that I issue a certificate does not mean that I should even go there and expect whether the things were brought or not. In other words, nobody builds an ambulance in America and brings it to Ghana. They bring the vehicle. You are a doctor, he knows it. They bring gadgets. And then you build the ambulance when it's already on grounds here. That's how we procure ambulances. Even the ambulances that were brought here, they built them here. You bring the gadgets and everything, and then you build it. So assemble it, absolutely. So it was surprising that they were everywhere. Atuforsen did this, he did that. Me on this matter, I knew justice would be served, and I knew the Honorable Atuforsen was innocent, and at least we were going to understand the cases. Then, but what surprised me was even the phone call between Dame and Mr. Japa. You see, the Godfrey Dame sometimes thinks that being a local champion means you can always bully your way through and bulldoze your way no matter what it is. You go internationally, you lose cases. You come locally and you want to maneuver and do all sorts of things. At least we now understand how he goes about his cases. We listened to the recording. We saw how he attempted, luring Japa into falsely testifying against Atuforsen. And Mr. Japa said, no, I have conscience. I believe in God and I believe in fair justice. I will never do anything against my will and against my conscience. What I will do is to testify to the doing of the Lord, and I will do exactly what was done, so long as the contract was, the contract is concerned. And Japa said, look, you want me to testify against an innocent man and jail him, so that what happens? What will you get from it? And sometimes, you see, I weep in this country because there are many innocent people, Lily, in jail because of wrong prosecutions. There are people who may not have a chance of even knowing someone or a chance of even recording someone. Today, you go to jail and you find the innocent ones mixed with people who are actually guilty. And sometimes it takes only God to save such people. There are people who go to jail, spend 7-10 years before one day somebody goes back to court to try it. Recently, lawyer Suzu went back to court on somebody's issue and the person was proven innocent. And many of these cases arise. And so for somebody to be the head of the legal corridors in this country, Minister of Justice and Attorney General, to be engaging in practices of this sort, where you lure people to testify falsely against innocent men, I thought that, look, he should have been taken out of the office. And we were calling for that. Take him out, get a new Attorney General, and let's move on. Obviously, you are still president, so you have to appoint your own new Minister for Justice. But such a character cannot continue to be Attorney General in this country. But thank God, finally justice has been served. We heard they were heading for the Supreme Court. We are waiting. We know that, look, you can, if you are innocent 100 times, you would continue to be innocent 100 times. We've availed ourselves. We've gone to court on a daily basis. There were times they attempted even stopping Atuforsen from going to Parliament and all of that. He said, no problem. I would avail myself. You testify. I know I'm clean. I know I did nothing wrong. We followed due process, and what was done was done. You can decide to term it anyhow you want to do. But at least the court has ruled. I know the MPP goes about saying, look, we have been attacking the judiciary system, and today because it's in our favor, so we are tending to praise them and all of that. No. You see, what is wrong is wrong. And sometimes when the obvious is so obvious, you would have no choice than to declare. There was a ruling, 2-1, victory. And the court set aside everything. Said, let's move on. Nothing was done. We will move on. But wherever they want us to go in this matter, we would continue to thrive. So kudos to the lawyers of Honorable Atuforsen and Richard Japa, Honorable the lawyer Iduji Tamaklu, and other senior lawyers who took part in the case. Congrats to the Honorable Minority Leader, very distinguished man, highly respected, the Honorable Kesel Atuforsen, and Mr. Richard Japa, who stood his grounds, stood in faith, and said he wasn't going to do anything that will go against his own conscience, even when he was promised relief after he had testified against Atuforsen. When I listened to the tape, I heard Godfrey Dame saying, look, testify against him and you'll be free. You are not a target. He is the target. Why do you make someone a target? To what end? But all these people, their day of reckoning is coming. They will stand the test of the law. in the right time, many of such people would face the rigors of the law. You cannot, because of your position, decide to abuse other people. I don't like it when people try to use positions and powers to be rude or be abusive towards other people. Look, we are all fair. We are all equal people. We sit to discuss. We are human beings. Let us have compassion. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. If you lie, I'll tell you you lie. If you didn't lie, I'll say you didn't lie. And that is why whatever I do, I back it with evidence and the facts. That's what I do. But I will not accuse a wrong man for what he has not done. Why do we do this to each other? That's enough. The same thing, Jachikwe said, if you remember, took him to court, dragged him. We went back into election. The people said he's the one we want. Why? There were people who won presidency to be president even in prison. Nkrumah is one of them. Nelson Mandela, you remember? There are people who were attacked, vilified, sentenced, what have you. But the people said, this is the person we want, and whatever you do, he is the man we want. So let us continue to use this in advising ourselves. Like I keep saying, I like it when I meet young people on panel like this, because we are young people. We are growing up. So let us change the narrative. Some of the bad things, some of the wrongs that were done by even the senior generation, as Gen Zs, let's try to work on them so that we don't repeat same mistakes the older generation did. We as young people on this panel need to take a new drive. Let's be fair, let's be just, let's be very critical, and let us speak the truth and speak with conscience. That is the only way we'll be able to change the fortunes of this country. Other than that, then we are wasting our time as a generation. And that's all I've been advocating for. So like I said, congrats to the people who won.
Okay.
Wherever they go, we would continue to follow them. But we know that Ato Forsen is innocent. Mr. Richard Jakpa is innocent.
Okay. Doc.
To have some 10 minutes, right?
What 10 minutes?
Not to take us back. But my brother,
if you go back,
when he was responding to the Kotokraba market, couldn't tell us when and where the funding was secured. It's imperative, and it's on record that Kotokraba market is not Mr. Mohammed's project. It's Prof. Mills's project.
It can even be.
It was Prof. Mills's dream.
Lily, it can even be Prof. Mills's project, no problem. It's NDC project. Move on.
It's Prof. Mills's project.
Mention Kufuor's project too.
In order. You don't know what nature is.
So
please, let's move on. We move to a different topic. You are taking us back. You wanted some 30 seconds too. No, but we're discussing
a different topic. 30 seconds.
Let's
mention Kufuor's project.
No,
we can list Kufuor's project.
No, we're not going back. We are not going back into
the one Mr. Muhammad is trying to steal.
We're not going back into that.
We can miss that. So the cover market.
Okay, yeah. You have 30 seconds.
We should stop
so that we can discuss the other topic.
We should stop stealing.
You've done well.
We should stop stealing projects.
Malikani, please don't interject him.
State capturing.
Let's move on.
Dr. Baumia has not tried offloading 54% of our bauxite reserve to his brother. To call for integrity, once again, who is corrupt? The Ghanaian knows who is corrupt and who has integrity. On the issue of the court case,
they brought you what trial? So let's go on.
In the interests of the state, Attorney General has issued a statement, and he's made it clear that he agrees with the decision of the court. So he will follow due process to seek redress at the Supreme Court, to seek to invoke their judicial powers to try and turn the issues, because he believes that the evidence is there. What then Health Minister and the Health Ministry, their position on the ambulances, the supposed ambulances, because they are not fit to be ambulances. Their position on the vehicles and the evidence he adduced in court. He believes that he has copious evidence that the court should consider to make a good determination. So yes, we disagree with the decision of the court, but we always take inspiration from our leader who believes in the rule of law, Nanodan Kufuor. In 2013, when the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision, ruled in favor of or against his case in court, to say that even as much as we disagree, we respect the decision of the court. The Attorney General will seek redress. But it's quite interesting that today the NDC is celebrating the judiciary, and they believe right is right and wrong is wrong. After all, whatever the judiciary does, in this, their independent mind. and the unanimous SC, the tagging, and how we've tried so much to malign the judiciary, how we've tried so much to incite the public against the judiciary. Finally, you've had a ruling in your favor at the Court of Appeal, and we are here singing praises and saying that right is right, wrong is wrong. After all, the judiciary is not biased. That's what it says. After all, the judiciary is not in the pocket of anyone, because indeed, if you believed that people had sworn to put someone behind bars and the judiciary is in the pocket of the president, I don't think you would have seen this judgment. To the extent that a former president who ought to know better and seeks to come and lead us again will go and sit and say that we need to pack the judiciary with NDC lawyers. Clearly, this ruling puts to bed the allegations. So tomorrow, if they come back, and they start attacking the judiciary, it clearly tells their intent. It clearly tells their intent, because the three persons that sat on the case are persons appointed by the current president. So if the judiciary was in the pocket of the president and the president appointed those three judges, indeed, we wouldn't have seen this ruling. So it speaks to people's deliberate attempt to malign the judiciary, especially when you have no case. You went to court, you claimed the election was rigged, you couldn't adduce a single evidence to that effect, and when you were asked why you were in court, you told the whole world that I wasn't in court because I believe I won any elections. You couldn't collect your own results. You told your people you had won elections. You went to court, disgraced yourself. The only issue that stood out in court was that they believed they were served Milo without biscuits. That's the only reason why they went to court. And one of the people that testified on their behalf was trying to plead with the judiciary to ask the EC why the EC did not add biscuit to the tea they were served. Clearly, it means when you go to court and you have a strong case and you're able to make your case, it's most likely you'll get good judgment. But when you go to court and you can't collect your results and you tell your followers that we've won a certain elections, incite your followers, and you go to court and you disgrace yourself. So it's a strong warning and a strong signal to the NDC followers that in the end, when they fail you, because they're already failing, they are not giving any better alternatives to the people. They are still touting Kokobu and Kitenkite. And my brother here has justified Kokobu and Kitenkite. I don't know what became of that confirm, but he's still justifying Kokobu and Kitenkite and what not. When you lose and they go to court and they go and disgrace themselves again, don't come and blame any state institution. They are fond of it, and their flag bearer has rightly stated that when you are losing the fight, start attacking the referee. And in the end, when your fears come to pass, you can tell people that, indeed, I told you, the referee is the cause of my defeat. You can see from everything, they started attacking the EC, started attacking the judiciary. But they've gone to court, they've had a favorable judgment, and they believe right is right, wrong is wrong. So when you go back, and after your defeat on December 7, you go back, and you still don't have a case, and you go and sit in court and disgrace yourself, and the court rules against you, don't come and tell and cry foul that there's a unanimous SC somewhere who is against your progress and who is in the pocket of any leader of the day. But we agree with the Attorney General. I think he should test the law at the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court gives or upholds the decision of the Court of Appeal, so be it. If the Supreme Court believes that indeed there is still some case to answer, then the law will take its full course.
Okay.
So, I mean, virtually similar things, like I said. You can keep going. My problem is usually the taxpayers' money they waste in trying all these things. You know, the PDS scandal that Baumia and co attempted duping this country. It's now in international arbitration. And every week, the Attorney General uses you and I, our taxes, to fly first class to UK, sit on the case and come back. It's still in court. Because we lost over $190 million. We lost $500 million plus. When they collected the money and put in PDS account, they refused to bring it. It's still seated there. And every week, they use the taxpayers' money to fly and go and sit on the case. So sometimes, these court cases, yes, you can keep going. But it's our taxes. It's our monies. And we cannot keep wasting our monies to a local champion like Godfrey Dame, who will be wasting it anyhow and recklessly spending it. We've had enough. Use the monies to do things for us. We want to see projects. We want to see roads. There are potholes. Look, the motorway is there. They need money to refurbish it. They started working on it. They've abandoned it. Now they are patching the holes with mortar. Cheap mortar. Look, condemned roads, Abokobi, Teman, condemned road. They've abandoned it. They started, they've stopped. These monies that Godfrey Dame uses in pursuing very unwanted, unnecessary cases, spending, flying lavishly and enjoying life.
But we didn't go to court.
Them.
PDS took us to court.
Yes, of course, because of Baumia's corrupt practice. He was the one who changed a condition precedent to a condition subsequent, changed the bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee. This is the mindset of Baumia. Now they've taken us to court. Even the money that they collected in the name of PDS and put in the account, they've not refunded it to ECG. And that's why the state institutions are suffering. So if we have leaders who would come and be thinking of their stomachs and packets and family members and refuse to give us jobs, as young people, let's kick against it. That's all what I'm telling Ezekiel to let us do. And I'm happy that he's gradually coming home. Look, let us look at a policy forward country. Let's sit down, let's think, let's jaw as young people. Me, I like to find solutions. And President Mahama is a champion in that. He looks at a challenge and he says, look, this is how to solve it. That's how to solve it. He will travel somewhere. He went to Kumasi, he realized that KJTR was so filled with people. He said, no, they needed a market. He started it and he completed it for them. Like I said, he went to Cape Coast. They needed a market. He did it. He came to Sola. He realized that the hospital was overcrowded. He said, you needed a hospital. Quickly, he built it for them. He went to Tolong. They didn't have a hospital. He said, you need a hospital. Quickly, he did it for them. Went to Bolgatanga, the hospital was so filled. You needed one. He built it. Look, I can imagine, Lily, and you, just one day imagine if we're still using the old Kotoka International Airport to travel. Just imagine. These days, it's not even fit for local flights, not talk of international ones. But President Mahama saw the challenge. He said we needed to expand it. He used the money to do it. All these projects was only done with 44 billion. Then this government comes, your very reckless, clueless, visionless, insensitive government comes. They borrow over 780 billion. They have one new oil field, making it 3. That rakes in over 3 billion annually. Esla is on board, rakes in over 3 billion annually. We left them a sinking fund of 250 billion. Left them GIF of 270 million. Left them the stabilization fund of 250 million. Add all these monies, and yet you come and sit here and all you are saying is we are building. We are building. 8 years, my brother Ezekiel. 8 years you are telling me you are building. I beg your pardon. You are building. You are building. This is how we want to run a country. So I mean, these are just last touching comments.
Okay.
Let us.
I've not sat anywhere and then we are building.
You said we are constructing this hospital.
I have not done
we are constructing that.
I'll give you the last 1 minute.
If my brother wants lecture,
I've not landed yet.
Okay,
yes,
land.
Then
so you're going to give me the 5 minutes.
You go.
You're going to give me the 5 minutes.
No,
my brother.
it's 2 minutes.
Today
no,
they sent you
down 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes. It
He's down 2 minutes.
59 when I went to him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
59.
Yeah.
You've done well.
Yeah.
So I'll have 3 minutes.
No, it's 9-1. So it's 2 minutes.
Okay.
You came to the north there, and when your own hometown people had a challenge, you know, Lily, they spill the Bagri Dam every year. By July, September, they will spill it. The money that they were going to use to construct the Palugu irrigation dam, they collected $12 million and squandered it. If Baumia can do this to his own hometown people, Kurugu, when we go to Kurugu, the chief nearly wept. He said, look, my son Baumia came and said they were giving us a dam. By August, we have to vacate our houses and go and be sleeping in classrooms because the water will come. You, Baumia, you don't have mercy on people like this. You sit down and let them squander $12 million and you've abandoned the project. He came and cut short for the Debra Inland Port and Yape Kosogo lied around through his teeth that they were going to construct it, and when they bring the trains, it will offload goods. He ran and left it. I mean, Baumia has virtually been wicked to we the people of the north. But you see, thank God that we have a savior. We have His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a man who has the north at heart, a man who constructed the Fufuloso Solar Road, a man who expanded the Tamale Teaching the Tamale Teaching Hospital, a man who gave us an international airport in Tamale, a man who gave us asphalt, and that man is coming back, and we know what he will do for our sons and daughters of the north, and we will choose that man over Baumia, who we don't know where he got the lying training from, over Baumia, who we don't know where he got the corruption training from, and where his cluelessness and incompetence came from. We will choose John Mahama 100 times over such a person.
The good people of the north know definitely the differences between
they brought him today
a
to
corrupt
try.
insensitive,
He's tried.
and a wicked president.
You've tried.
Really, will you allow me to speak?
Malik, kindly.
As against a vice president whose footprint can be seen up there in the north. For the first time in the history of the north, they've seen an interchange. The Tamale International Airport was not upgraded to international status under you. All you did,
Malik,
all you
please
added to the old airport was a 1 kilometer road. We've added 5 kilometer road, and the newly built airport started in 2019, completed in 2021. Dr. Bawumia can solve for it. Talking of road construction up there, I've told you, Boga to Boko. I've told you, Tamale, Isala, roads and all that. I've told you what you've done the north in terms of road. I've told you the hospitals we built there. All the things you are saying are things I came to complete. The Solar, Tolon, and all those polyclinics you started. 8 years. 8 years. You couldn't finish them. I came to finish for the people in the north. And I've started 28 district hospitals for people in the north. When we put the two there, one that has the vice president and president from the north, and Dr. Bawumia, who has only the vice president, the people of the north, they know who they should trust. They know who brought disgrace to them through their confirmed deal. They know who brought disgrace to them through the afforestation project. And Dr. Bawumia is still committed. Tell me one solution you've espoused to the people in the north. Dr. Bawumia is still committed. And he mentions the Palugu dam everywhere he goes. And we are happy. Our footprint in the north, the roads, the educational infrastructure,
Malik,
and the attrition rate up there. One of the worst attrition rates in any sector we had was up north. Free education has come. Now we are doing about transition rate of around 98% up north. The people of the north know which of them. One who was vice president and the other who was president, and is now coming to promise them. I thought when he was going, he wouldn't travel on the Tamale interchange. When they went to Tamale to go and launch their campaign, I thought they wouldn't travel on the Tatale Yendi road. I thought they wouldn't travel on the Boko Bogatanga road. But the roads we've done in the north is what they are going to use to do their campaign. The people of the north know who has served them well. One that got power and brought disgrace to them through that confirmed deal and that afforestation deal that never saw the light of day, and one that has become vice president, has lobbied, and you can see his footprints everywhere, every part of the north. You can see his footprints. And the MPs from this government who have also helped the north. We will see in the end what becomes of the north. That's what influenced their panic attack and bars people, 10 buses from every region to go and do their campaign launch up there, because Dr. Bawumia is in the north and the people are receptive. The crowd are coming out. The individual chiefs and opinion leaders are giving him their blessings. And we know the effect of Dr. Bawumia. You are trying so hard to rope him into your corrupt activities. Dr. Bawumia has never been mentioned in any corrupt activity. You go to the UK House of Commons, your candidate's name is there. He had taken $40,000 as bribe in the Majaro deal. Students of politics in the UK are reading about Mr. Mohammed in UK House of Commons because his name is in their parliamentary hazard. As being corrupt, he was influenced for our cocoa to be what? Smuggled out of this country. The Airbus issue, you all know. He took bribe as a fraud gift, as a bribe. We know his corruption and corrupt activities. And we want to paint Dr. Bawumia so bad. But in the end, when we put both of them out, and we call all Ghanaians, which of them is corrupt? Which of them can you trust with your money? Which of them has integrity? Your guesses are good as mine. So the people of Ghana know one that has been president before and has no solution. The one that has not been president and is espousing good and bold ideas that will change the fortunes of this country. And I have no doubt that the good people of Ghana have tasted water and have tasted wine and they know which to choose. We are going to reject once again the incompetent one. We are going to reject once again the do-little one. We are going to reject once again the one that without policies and can't explain their own slogan, for the one that has led, that has shown his CV as vice president, has told us a lot he's done in the capacity as vice president, espousing good and bold solutions to help us. We can sit here and ridicule the impact of the NPP in the north, but the people are appreciating it. Your chiefs are appreciating it. Which of them brought disgrace to them and which of them has brought goodies to them. And in the end, on the day of reckoning, we will see who is who over there.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. It was good having you both here. We missed the chief, Bernard Mona, who launched his campaign bid to become president of this.
To wish him well.
You wish him well?
Oh, of course. I mean, PNC. We know he will come and add to the numbers of the candidates up north. I mean, at least, and everyone will go and show working. You go and show working. You produce and confirm. I produce roads.
Okay.
Mr. Mona will also come and tell us what he wants to do for people.
Okay, Malik.
So, yeah.
For
all
me,
the best to him.
Like I said, Bernard is a very good friend. He's joining the race. I mean, you see, President Mahama will be president, but all other candidates are better than Alhaji Bawumia. Like I said, he's entirely clueless. He doesn't understand the state of affairs in this country. So, be it Bernard, be it who, whatever, they are definitely higher than a clueless liar like Alhaji Bawumia. And President Mahama will ultimately become victorious. But when he does, we will definitely work with the people, others who contested. I know that President Mahama is an all-inclusive person who would want to work with all other presidential candidates. The only one maybe who bring nothing. You
know the origination of family friends.
Can I speak?
You know unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you very much. Okay. Please.
Also after you.
No.
Why not? He started. I spoke. You've gone back to me. He started. He started. And I spoke. And you go back to Malik. So it's why you come back to me.
I can understand.
You said you needed 30 seconds to congratulate
Bernard, and he's done that. He's going ahead.
Yes, I'm
going ahead. I believe you will come back to me.
No, we are done. Unfortunately,
you are not being fair.
No. My director will cut me. 2 seconds.
So you give them 2 seconds.
The clueless.
You give them 2 seconds.
Very corrupt.
We've tested the incompetent one, and we know his track record. He has nothing better, and he will have anything better for Ghana.
Okay.
Start a new part.
Okay.
The part of possibility and bold solutions that Bawumia is espousing. If you go back, please, you have to come back to me.
No, he was talking.
You didn't come back to me.
No, you didn't allow him land.
He went back.
You interjected. And I allowed.
Let me make my point. So, like I said, the one who will not do with us, the one who bring nothing to the table.
Okay.
Very clueless.
And the one will not go for the one that.
Malik Basintale is the Deputy National Communications Officer for the NDC, and Dr. Ezekiel Ejekum. I'm always tempted to call you Ejekum Hene, huh? Yeah, I'm always tempted to call you.
It's actually Obi Ejekum. But President Kufuor is my mentor, so I have to change my name to have a middle name.
So Dr. Ezekiel Obi Ejekum is a member of the NPP communications team. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you too for watching the Breakfast Review. There's more, so please stay tuned in. We are back shortly. We'll talk about your taxes shortly. Stay with me. Back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. My name is Mohammed. Let's talk about tax. And for us as journalists, it's very, very important to understand, especially forensic accounting. I struggle with it. Well, somebody is here to help me understand it better. Eric Odro is Director, Chartered Institute of Tax Law and Forensic Accountants. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
I'm doing so great.
Good to see you. Now, when we talk about tax law, what do we mean?
Yeah, it's we have intentionally couched that particular program to help the economy, to help professional development, and to help the nation at large. And so, if you talk about tax is an imposition on a cost or a tax base backed by law. So, for instance, if the government wants to tax you, it must have been backed by law per Article 174 Clause 1. So if you talk about tax law, they are the body of legal regimes that have been codified to regulate the conduct of collecting taxes. And so because it is backed by law, the government can just get up, go to Parliament. If he deems it fit, then naturally he's going to impose that tax on you. But naturally, we have to get benefits out of them. So that's the taxation aspect. We have several types of taxes, but the key ones are direct tax and indirect tax. Direct taxes are taxes that are levied, which you can feel as the taxpayer. For instance, let's say your salary. If your salary is 7,000 Ghana cedis gross, when you are being paid, you will see that it will come down a little. So probably maybe 6,500 Ghana cedis. So the 500 becomes the tax being paid, which you can feel and see. Indirect taxes are taxes mostly on consumption, like VAT. You pay mostly without taking notice of it being paid. So basically, I'll say salary and VAT are two thematic taxes that can be ascribed to direct tax and indirect taxation.
Now, what is the role of your institute in the broader scheme of things when it comes to taxes?
Yes, Chartered Institute of Tax Law and Forensic Accountants, Ghana, was registered in 2015, and in 2022, we translated it into a professional body status. So now we award certificates backed by law, so that people become chartered tax law and forensic accountant. Naturally, the person has imbibed a lot of knowledge, skills or knowledge areas, because he'll be adept at taxation, forensic accounting itself, and other broader areas, including cybercrime, cybersecurity, digital forensics, and in future we are going to go into machine learning and AI, artificial intelligence, because that's the area that we need to be veering towards. And so yes, that's very key.
Because AI has come to stay.
Yeah, it has come to stay. So how do we get the knowledge and the skills and the competencies to prosecute any complex activity or task? Those are the areas we are researching more, because you see that the youth coming naturally, they are very into those areas. And more or less a knowledge economy, mostly driven by the services sector. And for that matter, that's the area that we are very into to show up that kind of body of knowledge. So when we talk about forensic accounting and tax law, it epitomizes, or the two epitomize a whole scheme of knowledge base. And a typical example that we can talk about is that you talk about forensic accounting, and we are talking about forensic accounting and audit, criminology, fraud examination, cross-border taxation, natural resources accounting. So those are areas which we think we need to do much more, research, and something called even business forensics.
Okay.
Yes, that encapsulates the various areas, various economies, various sectors of the economy, like mining, insurance, banking, pharmaceuticals. There are forensic issues in each of these areas. So that is the skill area, that's the expertise area we are very more into. So that when we pay pharmaceuticals, we know everything. When we talk about health, medical forensics, we go into that. Sociolinguistics, we go into that. Forensic psychology. So it's a paradigm shift from the normal accounting finance threshold, which we think we need to share the knowledge base with Ghanaians. So we are doing more research, and accounting is is in 3 strands. We have accounting and audit. We have taxation. So we also bring in forensic accounting, including cybercrime, cyber security, and digital forensics, together with the other related AI, machine learning, blockchain management, cryptocurrency, virtual currency.
But as you talk about AI, is that not a threat to you? We've seen how AI has been used negatively.
It depends upon your priority. Once you set out the priorities, then you are good to go.
Right.
Because AI, what's AI? It's using complex technologies to create understanding through written and oral, machinations in terms of communicating an idea, a philosophy, or a policy, making recommendations. And so if you know what you want, then naturally you couch it to suit your whim. So I don't think it's a threat. It depends upon the way you apply it and how it's going to help you in that state.
What qualifies somebody to be a member of the Chartered Institute of
mostly once you have basic qualification, let's say diploma, HND, degree, qualified accountant, or any of the professional accounting qualifications, masters in any area, including accounting and tax. The way we've done is such that we have level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1 is basically for SS graduates, and those who are having degree which are not accounting or tax or business inclined, maybe degree in psychology, degree in human resource,
degree in journalism,
because you need to take you through. Because there are a lot of things that you need to do. You have to do practical accountancy, tax audit and special investigations. You have to do criminology. You have to do forensic audit and special investigations. You have to do
so you do criminology?
Yes, and we do law. Forensic accountants, we don't train you to become lawyer per se, but you must get the rudiments, the intricacies inherent in, because you'll be called upon at a court of law to give testimony, to advise, maybe court on certain processes, certain schemes, certain ideology, certain topics. And so you must have had knowledge in that area for you to prosecute it cogently. Other than that, you fumble. That's the difference between the traditional accountant and forensic accountant. So criminology, you have to be adept at it. Legal studies, at least, will take you through principles of tax law, criminal law, criminal procedure, tort law, ADR, trade and investment, equity and succession, land law, so that at least you have those pieces of knowledge to prosecute your agenda as a professional. It's very, very important. For instance, let's say you are torn between making decisions or giving advice on, let's say, certain instrument, conveyance, mortgage, letter of attorney, statutory declaration, rent, sublease, leasing, all those things. You must have had, in-depth knowledge to prosecute it. Very, very important. So those are some of the areas that we are trying to couch the line of educational strategy, just to conscientize the public. That's the more reason why we are packaging this particular program for the media. Last year we did it. On the 5th of August, it was Saturday. Last year we did it free of charge to the journalists. And we wanted them to have even propagated the message to the public. Most of them, they say, we didn't pay them, so they are not going to. So please, just help us to grow
now
this area.
Talking about you couch the program for the media. There's an upcoming program.
Yes. So it's going to be held at GIMPA, Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. So there are 4 thematic areas we've earmarked. We have International Financial Reporting Standard 9. That's financial instruments, very key. And mostly the financial regulators, including Bank of Ghana and even SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, they use it much more often in the regulatory regime. When you look at the banking regulation, the banking collapse and all those things, it was inherent for the bank to use that instrument because it comes with a lot of technical areas. The amortized cost, fair value through other comprehensive income, fair value through normal profit or loss. So they are technical areas. So once you get that technical knowledge, then you'll be able to know that if you're an auditor, you go and audit. Mostly these things are prevalent at the multinationals. You are an auditor, maybe from GRA or from one of the top 4 audit firms. You are auditing in some of these complex financial instruments. You have to get a basis How does it go? How do I question certain status quo? Those are some of the competencies. So you should be able to know, okay, the person was given loan, maybe 1 million Ghana cedis. He's supposed to have paid off, liquidated less within 6 months. He hasn't done it. It has traversed beyond 6 months. It means there's impairments. Yeah, it's going to affect liquidity, it's going to affect cash flow, it's going to affect total financial reporting system and the financial statement as a whole. So what knowledge base do you need to prosecute these things? You need it, because there are a lot of inherent things, the acquisition, the amortization, derecognition, measurement. There are so many things. So we've recruited someone from Bank of Ghana to come and do that, because they are experts, adept in that area. Then we come to GIFMEX, Government Integrated Financial Management System. How the government budget, expenditure control, revenue, those regimes, the way it's been couched. We want our members, general public, to really know what is inherent in that GIFMEX. Okay. Is it being worked well? Is it being adhered to? Are the actors using it to the brim? Are there certain inherent defects which have to be corrected? We want our members to know. But
have you identified inherent defects in the GIFMEX?
Oh yes, I did. I did some few interviews, and it seems the actors some of them are reluctant in using it. Yes, they prefer to using the manual system, and that's not good. Okay. Yes, so we want, so that we can also write a communique to communicate to the public our stance on some of them, because you see, it does help once the framework is there and it's mostly automated. So there are certain expenditure. I mean, when you are raising, requisitioning payment or revenue processing system, everything is calibrated, so it's difficult for you to, shortchange or do certain things which are untoward. So that's the more reason why I want the public, the government, industry, professionals to really get to know. So that's also one aspect. Then we come to combating tax and financial crimes. And now we are getting an expert from the Financial Crime Investigations Department, an expert coming from that area to come and handle it. And it's very key to us because it's an organized crime, financial crime, tax crime, cyber security, digital forensics, AI, machine learning, blockchain irregularities, all those. And now even when it comes to blockchain and cryptocurrency, we don't have cogent regulations. The whole world is a problem. How do we deal with these things? So we can pick, pieces of information, knowledge, experiences to share, so that we can bring to bear to promulgate or enact a cogent law to regulate that area, because it's important. You know what? You see, when you talk about why the dollar is not doing well, it's because of, we have Payment System and Services Act at 987 passed in 2019. When that law came, it gave credence to institutions to more or less, fintechs, trying to trade in financial instruments and all that. But the question now is, you see, in 2026, I've heard that the Bank of Ghana is going to introduce e-cash, and it's very good, because now, if you want to buy something, you want to go and buy dollar, whatever that you want to do, whether the GHOne or multinationals, per the Minerals and Mining Act, Section 48. So when you make your profit, you are obliged to convert it into what foreign currency for it to be repatriated. All those things are precursor weakening the financial system in terms of the dollar acquisitions. And so because of some of these things, we believe that going forward, if cryptocurrency is much more upheld, then a company can have about 40 or 50% of their cash reserves in electronic wallet, not necessarily cash, physical cash. So you don't go to, you are not going to First Bureau to buy dollar, because everything is on your wallet. So it will change the paradigm to bring a kind of a impact leadership, threshold, other than for us to be adhering to the normal cash, physical manualized dollar cashing system. So these are also one of the areas that we are proposing some of our thoughts to the government for them to look at those. And so it's a whole ball game, and we are hoping that people come, the public. We are throwing the challenge to you. Come, Challenge of Tax Law Forensic Accountants Ghana. We do our training every Saturday. We do the normal training for you to become chartered tax law and forensic accountant.
Which law backs the establishment?
So we have the professional bodies regulation or Registration Act,
Okay.
1973, Act 143. Then you come to the constitutional provision. We have Article 21(1)(b), 21(1)(e). And no, that one more or less reinforces you to belong to an association. Then you go to Article 36 and 37. That is where you can also establish income generating activity. You also contribute to national development. And those are the legal mechanics that we are basing on to also operationalize. So basically, and even Article 109 clause 1, Parliament may pass law to regulate business association and professional association. So those are the epitome regarding the legal framework on which we are hinged in operation.
So if I become a member, what are some of my benefits?
A lot of benefits, because it cuts across all the areas: oil and gas, pharmaceutical, aviation, food processing, retail, wholesale, services, every area. So once you qualify, you are not only an accountant, but you are also a forensic accountant, whereby you have garnered or you have imbibed a set of skills which you might not have had if you hadn't come to do that particular program. So for instance, if you are conducting tax investigation, now let me share this with you. You know, there's something called capital gains tax. Capital gains tax is taxes that are levied on assets that are sold at a profit or at a gain. Yes. So for instance, let's say when you sell this property, the cost base is, let's say, 2 million Ghana cedis. You sell it, you get it 2.7 million Ghana cedis. The 700,000 Ghana cedis is capital gain. Do we pay capital gains on some of these things? Look at people who are selling cars, the garages. Go to Mokola, people who are selling their wares. Go to the real estate sector. How much taxes are they paying on those related? So for instance, let's say a company has sold part of their asset in the scheme of the I will say the fixed asset register or the fixed asset schedule. Now, you should be able to trace the asset that has been sold out. Who was it sold to? What is the cost? What were the additions, if any, depreciation, workout, and all those things. Now, if we are not concerned about whether you made profit or loss, but it should be disclosed in the financial statement. So when you go to the cash flow statement, we call a place investing activities. So that means that when you sell an asset, whether you sold or you bought, that is where you record it. So if anyone sells an asset, we have to know whether there's a profit or loss in the income statement, otherwise known as statements of comprehensive income. Then you go to the cash flow statement, you have to see it. We have to go to the balance sheet, we have to know it as being affected by the fixed asset or the non-current asset. So these are technical areas. As a forensic accountant, you should be able to have the trail of competencies, which probably maybe if you hadn't come to study this particular program, it's very difficult for you to really understand the mechanics. So we give you complex mechanics in identifying complex schemes which are hidden from state institutions. That's what we do. So it's not just like you do the normal auditing. That one, excuse me to say, you train a GSS or SS person, you can do the normal vouching. But what is behind that vouching? Those values, treatment of a financial asset, financial liability. That is where the tax avoidance, tax evasion. We have avoidance scheme. People intentionally create schemes to avoid taxes. We have transfer pricing, thin capitalization, income splitting, change in accounting policy, change in accounting date, loss, carryover losses, then merger and acquisitions. These are all strands of factors which multinationals, some of them, if you are not smart, GRE, they will use to what? Evade or maybe avoid taxes incessantly. So these are some of the things that we do.
Now, is the knowledge alone enough? Because you realize that a lot of institutions lack the resources. They lack even the equipments to undertake a number of these things. Is the knowledge alone enough?
I think this is a very brilliant question. And probably from today, the government has to look at the professional bodies very well. Because when we were young, anytime someone is doing professional course, the presumption was that it was more practical than even do the A-level or degree.
Absolutely.
Yes. But now, is that the status quo? Do we vouch the person having that competencies after he has graduated or qualified? These are the questions we need to interrogate, madam. Very, very important. So what I suggest is the government must come in, look at our weaknesses, our strengths, our...
Are you collaborating with government? Have you sent proposals?
Yeah, we went to Parliament to talk to informally. To talk to some of the MPs. We are trying to, we got the Gazette on 30th of September 2022.
Okay.
So we are in the threshold of creating those partnerships. We need to have partnership with International Federation of Accountants, that's the mother body, and other local professional bodies. And that is what we intend doing. The government aspect too, we want to tread it cautiously, because mostly when you send a letter, you don't have insider person to project, it becomes a problem. So we want to create the enabling environment to get the tete-a-tete discussions before we send a proposal. Those are some of the pieces of steps that we've taken.
Okay.
But coming back to what you are saying, even offices to be used, training centers, lecturers, training lecturers in forensic accounting, PhD level, master's level, professional level. These are areas that we need. Forensic accounting, cyber crime, cyber security. Now we have ethical hacking. It's a whole huge area. Ethical hacking, because you can get a small boy, he can enter into one of the big multinational banks. But there must be ethical hacker who has to do simulated countermeasures, so that once you enter, you'll be caught. These things, we need skills, and it's a small professional body we are now growing. The resources are not there, but the competences, the skill, and the ideologies are big. These are some of the things that we want to propose to the government, so that the government comes to our aid. There are areas, some of the young guys, they are good, but we don't have confidence in ourselves. So
how do we leverage on the current crop, the Generation Zs?
In terms of?
In terms of administering some of these things, how do we leverage on them?
Oh yeah, because you see, now we have free SHS policy that is churning out more SS graduate and university graduate polytechnics. So it means we should be able to create enabling environment to generate the jobs, so that when the person finishes the university coming from the SHS policy, then there must be readily available or relatively readily available job for the person. If that person does not have it, then the knowledge acquired will be used in a different stead. That's going to go against us. So it behooves on us to come out with policies that will channel the minds and the frame of thinking of the youngsters in a particular area where they think that, if this is where I'm going, then I think after my degree, my diploma, or my HND, there's something that I can do. And those are some of the areas the government has to be advised to look at. Other than that, you churn out them. But you go to audit service, you go to GMPC, you go to ministries. Maybe there's application about 12,000, 15,000, 30,000, but they can only take about 200 people. What about the rest? Where should they go?
Yeah.
And you see, human beings, not everybody is born to create a job. Not everybody is born to create a company. There are corporate entrepreneurs, like here. They cannot create Star FM or GHTV. But if you employ them as MCR, as producer, as technical person, as an accountant, as an administrator, operations manager, he can perform than he would have set up, because that is not cut for that. These are some of the things that I think we need to look at.
And for the program, which is on the 10th of August.
Yes. Yeah, it's 10th and 11th. So the 10th is Saturday. So from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Then the Sunday to 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So we are going to look at International Financial Reporting Standard 9, its applications to other International Financial Reporting Standards, the IAS, the IFRS, and others. Then we also look at the GIVMIX, expenditure, setting up expenditure framework and all that, revenue control, expenditure control. Then we come to tax and financial crimes, which are being organized and perpetrated against institutions and government, and experts are going to. Then we have someone coming from Control and Accountant General Department to handle the GIVMIX. Experts in that. Yes. So it's a conscious program that we have done. So we send letters to them so that they give us, they are experts dealing in those domain of knowledge. And for that matter, they have to have a sharing with us so that we can appreciate its applicability to forward our professionalism. Basically, that's all. Then we come to the last one, that's interrogating complex financial statements forensically. That is awesome. That's intriguing. So we'll take
would that curb the issue of fraud?
Yes. It's a precursor.
Okay.
So as we do, and it's being propagated, especially by you, the media, then those who are perpetrating those financial irregularities, they will come to think of it that, no, we have to be very careful. Other than that, we are going to expose you. And it's going to be wow. So pick financial statements. When someone's an expert, he picks a financial statement, he can tell that this area there's a problem. But mostly, we don't even have confidence in ourselves. You must get confidence in yourself.
Because you don't have the knowledge.
That's it. but some even have the knowledge, but
they don't have the skill set.
That is it. Some too also have the skill set, but they could be complicit.
Okay.
Yes, because he knows that there's tax infractions here. You see, if you look at Income Tax Act at 896 passed in 2015, okay, Section 79, subsection 5 and 7, okay. What it does say is that, you see, when a multinational comes, there's something called reconnaissance and prospecting. So reconnaissance is what you are trying to evaluate whether you can get a find of a mineral of a kind of a mineral nature. Then you come to the prospecting. That is where you have gone past the reconnaissance. Then the government gives you license for prospecting. Now, when you get a prospecting, the law is saying that per section 79 subsection 5 is saying that if you incur cost, whether recurrent expenditure or capital expenditure, you can accumulate them so that when you start the commercialization, you can enjoy capital allowance. Do you know what it means? So when the white man is coming, they have experts, consultants, chartered accountant, lawyers, and the rest. So they will cash in on that provision. But the Ghana man, he doesn't even care about the provisions in the tax law. So you see that he will get accumulated capital allowance and current accumulated capital allowance. And capital allowance is a cost to the government, because the government is trying to make you have a freer, environment, an allowance for you to operate. So he gets higher capital allowance. Now, when he comes to prepare the financial statement, we call something the accessible income. Okay, so when you get the accessible income, that is all the revenue, expenditure, everything which have been gross up. Now there are other deductibles, either release, exemptions, tax holidays, or whatever. Now, because the capital allowance is inherent in that release or exemption, if the capital allowance is huge, it erodes the chargeable income, making the profits that we have to charge tax on becoming smaller. And this is what the multinationals do. That is what we teach our people. There's a lot, madam. We are
and is this free? I mean, you mentioned that the last time you did it last year, it was free.
Yeah, for all journalists, it's free.
Okay.
So we have sent letters to all journalists. And now, please, when they come, because we are giving knowledge to you, we will print certificates also for you. So that is what we are also doing to help the journalistic arena. So that when you are a business analyst or a business reporter or forensic accounting reporter, you know the depth of knowledge that you need to acquire to interrogate certain things. You can go to any of the public institutions or a multinational company. You identify yourself. We want to know your financial statement for the past 3 years. They will begin to shake because they know an expert is coming. This is what you have to do so that the incessant, technically inclined tax avoidance schemes will be minimized.
Okay.
So we are doing it free of charge for all media houses, but the public, the professionals, the business arena, the fee is just 1,200 Ghana cedis,
including your members.
Our members is 1,000 cedis.
Okay.
Then the general public is 1,200 Ghana cedis. So we have experts from Bank of Ghana, experts from gift mix office, that's Control Accounting General Department and Ministry of Finance. Then we are also getting experts from the Financial Crimes Investigation, including the institute itself, where we are going to tackle forensically how institutions perpetrate financial fraud, irregularities, and other misconducts that affect tax generation. There's a lot that we are going to do, madam.
Okay, so next week, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yes.
9 a.m.
It's 8 a.m.
8 a.m. through till
4:30 p.m.
Okay.
Yes, the whole day is booked. We want people to come so that we share knowledge.
And certificates will be awarded?
Yes, we give you, it's not certificate of participation, no. Certificate of knowledge and competence. That's the title.
Okay.
Certificate of knowledge and competence. So once you hold it, you must have acquired an equivalent commensurate knowledge attuned to that level of qualification that we are giving you.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming.
You are welcome.
So that's Eric Odro. He's Director, Chartered Institute of Tax Law and Forensic Accountant. We are back shortly. The show is now time for some lifestyle, and there's an app series that is coming up. I've been joined in the studio by Ohene Ejekum, he's screenwriter and co-director, the Treasure App TV series. Peter Kojo Najim is lead actor, and Andrew Acha is also an actor. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing? Treasure App series. What is Treasure App series?
So simply put, it's a series that revolves around a particular number of characters who come into contact with a mysterious app, and then based on how they benefit from the app, it serves as a mirror to see the type of people they become once they have achieved certain goals. Maybe the money they earn, the information they have, they are privy to, the leverage they have over others. It's basically a satire about how people can change when things change for them, or when situations change for them. So simply put, that is what the app, or that's what the app series is trying to.
So it's on an app?
Yes, please.
Oh,
so it's about an app.
It's about an app?
And how human beings, or how people who come into contact with the app become or change over time.
Oh.
Exactly.
How did you come about this?
So
okay, I wanted him to. Or you take that.
So how it came about, so we're just a bunch of people. So I met a friend of mine at acting class, Kofi Aqua, and he puts me on this project.
Acting class where?
We used to have it at I think somewhere in Andapaka somewhere.
Okay.
So by Kofi Sapon, but I met Kofi Aqua, who is a director over there, and he puts me on this project. And I mean, I hit up some of my friends to come on board and let's see how we can work this.
Has it been worth the while? Has it been challenging?
It's been very challenging. Yeah, I mean,
I like the way.
I mean, he knows how difficult and challenging it's been. Yeah, it's actually not easy. It's not easy bringing about like this whole thing. Yeah.
How long did it take you?
I think 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. I think.
Oh wow!
2 years in the making.
We started filming in September of 2022.
Wow.
So it's been 2 years. Yeah.
But why did it take you so long? I know some people go on set and in a week they are done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think the major hindrance for the efficiency of this project was the people we're working with. Most of us were young people, you know, or are young people trying to figure life out and everything. So a lot of things will be holding us back. They're finding the right time for everyone to be on set was also a problem. A lot of impromptu emergencies, work opportunities that would have people moving from one country to another and everything. So these were basically the little problems. There were little problems, but over time they kept building up. So we had to store projects or shooting sessions for later on, and that was the main reason why, or that is the main reason why we have delayed, or there has been a considerable amount of delay. Yeah.
When is this series launching?
Oh, 1st of August this month.
Okay, this month. Okay, so you're launching it, and what would you expect people to get from this particular series?
It's full of mystery.
Mystery?
Yeah.
What mystery?
I mean, using the app to manipulate your way around stuff, you know, like drinking power and all that. So it's
So it means that people will leverage technology to rule the affairs of the other people.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I really want to know why are you launching it?
So we have 2 premieres. The first one would be on YouTube. That will be the one coming out this month, 31st of August. The second one would be in cinemas, but the actual date and time is yet to be finalized. So when we decide on it, we will make sure to let the public know when we are ready to bring it out. Second premiere.
I think it's an interesting thing you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Do you look forward to doing a lot of these things?
If the opportunity is there, why not?
But this took you 2 years. Do you think you still want to do things like this?
Oh yeah, I think I still want to do things like this, because us being on set and I scope the whole environment and everything and fits my criteria, definitely yes, I would like to do that.
It's a good experience. So
it's a good experience. So 31st of August
We are, that is the name on all across all social media platforms.